Yunara's been doing her job for a long time, but centuries of standing guard in the spirit realm have only sharpened her resolve and her aim. In-game, Yunara is an ADC for ADCs, with a focus on core marksman skills like spacing and orb blocking. She's all about ramping up power and unleashing it at exactly the right time. So pour yourself some tea and brush up on your ancient Ionian. It's time for the Yunara Champion Spotlight.
The time has come to prune the tree.
Up first, Yunara's passive, Vow to the First Lands. Her critical strikes deal extra magic damage. And now that's it. That's the entire passive. Yunara's Q is Cultivation of Spirit. She gains stacks of Unleash by attacking enemies. At max stacks, Yunara can activate Q to, you guessed it, Unleash for a few seconds. She gains attack speed, bonus damage on hit, and deals splash damage in a small area with each attack. Unleash stacks decay quickly out of combat, so Yunara wants to stay in the fray to stay at her strongest. Next, W is Arc of Judgment. Yunara sends a swirling prayer beat out, which damages and slows enemies as it travels. It slows down any time it hits a target, then lingers and expands at its terminus, continuing to damage enemies who don't get out of the way. For E, Yunara activates Kanmei's Steps, which grants her a quick burst of move speed to chase down enemies, reposition, or dodge skill shots. Now let's focus on her ultimate, Transcend One's Self. With R, Yunara taps into her full power, entering a transcendent state for several seconds that enhances all of her basic abilities for the duration. Her Q, Cultivation of Spirit, instantly activates and empowers her attacks for as long as she's transcended, which is a long duration upgrade. Her W, Arc of Judgment, becomes Arc of Ruin. Instead of a swirling prayer bead, she fires a beam of spirit magic that slows and deals high damage in a line. Finally, her E, Kanmei Steps, becomes Untouchable Shadow. She gains a short dash instead of movement speed, and the ult cast resets the cooldown. She can dive out of danger or right into the fight. When Yunara transcends oneself, her enemies don't have a prayer.
Age of Retribution!
Like many other AD carries, Yunara wants to play safe until she finds the right moment to get aggressive. She's truly powerful with a fully stacked Q. If Cultivation of Spirit is ready to activate, it might be a good time to fight. An even better time to fight? When her ult is up. Her mobility is pretty limited most of the time, so opponents want to lock her down before she goes all Super Kinku mode. Positioning is key here. All that potential power means nothing if she doesn't live long enough to use it. Yunara is meant for you ADC purists. Her ramping power might feel familiar if you like playing Ashe or even Zeri. Basically anyone who likes decimating enemies with a relentless barrage of autos. Find out what more than 200 years of Spirit Realm experience looks like with Yunara, the Unbroken Faith.
Perseverance, patience, providence.
Let's go, let's go. Goodbye, bro. Let's go.
Tell me, babe, you wanna leave this town? I'm saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. 'Cause darling, we were meant for bigger things. This place keeps killing our dreams. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind, yeah. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind. Tell me, babe, you wanna leave this town? I'm saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. 'Cause darling, we were meant for bigger things. This place keeps killing our dreams. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind, yeah. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind.
Welcome back to Liga Republika, mga kaibigan, mga manonood, mga summoners dito. Magandang hapon din sa inyong lahat. Grabe, nakailang araw lang tayong pahinga at back on the grind tayo ulit for League of Legends. Kami pala ang magiging casters nyo for today. Ako si Crazy Apple at dito kasama ko ay si Dumpster Fire. At ayun na nga, bago tayo magsimula nitong araw na to, Dumpster Fire, kumusta?
Ayan na, okay lang naman. Siyempre, super excited for our group stage naman. And of course, iba naman talaga yung qualifiers natin sa group stage, diba? Itong group stage, these are the best teams that came out of their brackets. At grabe na talaga yung labanan na makikita natin. And I'm super excited for the 3 games upcoming. If you guys already checked out the schedule, pinopost naman namin doon sa League of Legends page. And of course, yeah, super excited to cast these games with you, Apple.
Yeah, ako, same din. Sobrang excited ako na makasama ka dito, Dumpster Fire. First time tayo magsasama sa caster desk, no?
Yes,
Pero
sir.
before tayo pumasok, talking more about League of Legends, talking more about the teams and stuff like that, pass muna tayo sa ating tournament format. Yun na nga, tayo ay nasa group stage na ngayon. We are in the round-robin format of our tournament wherein the 12 teams will be divided into 4 groups. I believe today, ang makikita natin ay ang Group A, kaya tayo makikita ng 3 matches from this group.
Yun, oo nga. Tapos yung tatlong teams natin dito ngayon sa Group A, no, is of course, yung lumabas na nakikita naman natin, it's EYYA, going up against WPE Academy for our first game. At of course, dito din naman yung Divinity. So the way the group stage works, diba, is maglalaban-laban yung tatlong team na to. They'll go up against the other team at least once. So, tatlong games na tayo ngayong araw na to. And all of them will be streamed live, ladies and gentlemen. So, please stay tuned. And of course, kung nanonood kayo and you know any friends that would want to watch, please like and share the stream and tell them that we are finally live.
Yeah. Kung meron din kayong mga katanungan about the game, about League of Legends, about the tournament so far, don't be afraid na mag-comment. We'll go through them later on na to answer some of your questions. Pero right now, ito na nga, lahat ng teams, all 12 teams na nakapasok galing sa ating elimination stage for Liga Republika, who si EYYA, Divinity, and West Point Esports Academy for today's matches. Isipin mo, no, Dumpster Fire, right now, we are at the top 12 teams sa Liga Republika. Kumbaga, ito yung 12 best teams sa Pilipinas sa League of Legends.
Pilipinas. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, Apple. No? And of course, that's why itong mga games na to, grabe talaga, parang ako na kinabahan eh. Ako na kinabahan yung mga laro na to, honestly. But of course, we're super excited to see what these teams come up with. Of course, parang kung sa qualifiers pa lang, sabi ko na dati gloves are off kasi best of 1. Pero parang even more so now sa group stage natin.
Yeah, definitely. One thing din kasi na mas nakakaba dito pa sa ating mga teams, no? Since there's only 3 matches, and after this, semis na. So, yung top 4 na ang makikita nating teams after the group stages. So, ibig sabihin, isang team lang ang lulusot from each group. So, talagang mabigat ang nilalaman ng each of these games. You have to put your best foot forward para ikaw ay mag-advance to the next part of our tournament.
Oo nga, dito na talaga natin makikita yung the prowess that it takes to be a pro League of Legends player, no? Di lang naman sa pro skill level sa teams, sa players, but of course how they synergize together as a team. Kasi nakikita naman natin kahit sa yung mga international tournaments, no, in the pro scene, just the synergy of a team is very important. Kahit may roster change na isang tao lang, parang ibang team na talaga sila. So of course, now in these final moments, grabe final na, group stage pa lang, no? So parang ganoon na nga eh. That's the pressure already in Liga Republika.
Wag din nakakalimutan, yun na nga yung isang pressure, 'di ba? Pero ano ba pinaglalaban ng teams natin dito, which is road to LCP wildcard playoffs. This is the start of their journey papunta nga dito. Possible slot into the LCP and possibly ang tawag ko na rin dito is #first road to worlds, no, ng Pilipinas, dahil napakatagal na ng huling best natin nakapunta doon. That's I believe 2013 pa ata. Gano'ng katagal na ang League of Legends, gano'ng katagal na rin. And it would be really nice to see a Filipino team up there on the world stage.
Oo nga. And of course, as a beautiful side prize din naman. Grabe, side prize. Side prize lang yung 860,000 peso prize pool. Nag-uusap kami ni Salvatore nung nag-cast kami sa qualifiers. Tapos yung tanong namin is, kung ikaw yung merong 400,000 pesos, so kayo nagiging champion, anong gagawin mo sa pera na yun, Apple?
Ha? Teka, sa realistic realistic kasi maghahatian kami at least 5 members, no? Sa tig 90 kyaw per turn.
Sabihin natin.
Oh my God. Bibilan ako bagong PC.
Uy,
Bagong PC, kung ano kaya afford. Kung anong ka-afford ng 90k.
Medyo philanthropic kami. Sabi namin, bibigay na lang namin sa League community.
Of course,
ladies and gentlemen.
Nahuli ako doon There's galaga.
And of course, nakikita nyo naman, ladies and gentlemen, sa aming post in the League of Legends page as the qualifiers recaps, yung most picked hero natin, hindi most effective, it seems, is Varus with that 56% win rate and 18 picks all throughout the qualifier stage.
Yeah, definitely. Varus, isa sa mga, I would say, highlight champs na nakikita natin here in Liga Republika. Nakikita din natin yung importance in the international stage. You can have several builds kasi on Varus, although what we usually see I believe is the lethality build na more on the poke, more on playing safe. That's why we see nga na mataas yung damage dealt din niya. But you can flex din kasi na pwede kang mag-attack speed, pwede kang naalala ko dati yung AP burst na Varus build.
And AP pa.
And let's not forget the Chains of Corruption is such a big tool para makastart ng fights and if ever also to peel and go for those re-engages.
Oo nga. And the safety, of course, that affords you, no? As
right.
for it to come from an ADC. Very, very big, well-rounded kit talaga yung meron si Varus. And of course, that's why we see it a lot in these games. Of course, yung ban rate niya, I think, is pretty high din. Nakikita din naman natin. There are a lot of people that would rather play a Varus-less game. And of course, that's the effectivity na lumalabas pa rin siya. And of course, that is gonna be our highlighted champion for the qualifier. So, ayun, ano kaya dito sa group stage natin, no? Magiging Varus pa rin ba to?
Yun yung malalaman natin when it comes to the champions kasi nag-iiba yung team play when you get to a different stage of the tournament. May chance kasi mas nagkakakilala na yung ating mga teams. So ito na nga ang ating dalawang koponan dito, West Point Esports Academy versus EYYA. Yun ang ating match 1 for the day. At ito ang ating mga lineup, no? Sila Devard, Azeved, Agona, Relia, and Miss on the side of West Point Academy. While on the side naman of EYYA, Revelate, Working Koesho, Gauter, Six God, and tama ba? Sa TWEAC.
Yun, diba? And grabe talaga, makikita natin the matchups going up against each other. And this is the kind of pressure din na dapat ma-afford mo for the tournament, no? Kasi nalaman naman natin na although it is a team game, on those early stages, importante talaga yung matchup knowledge mo, how you're gonna be able to play against yung counterpart mo din naman sa kalaban yung team.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And yun na, kasama din talaga yung pagkakilala and yung scouting. At nakita naman natin itong dalawang maglalaban. West Point Academy and EYYA, familiar names in the esports scene, familiar names in League PC, lalo na West Point. We know one of our nag-represent sa atin na organization in the international stage. Names there are familiar, especially Devard, one of the most nakikita ko madalas yan in the comment section na pag-uusapan ng mga players natin. The other player na sa akin na tumatatak din, natatanda ko dati, is Cresho. Used to be one of the, di naman used to din I think until right now, had the most dominating runs in the collegiate scene for League of Legends. And now, still playing here, nakikita natin siya ngayon din sa Liga Republika.
Oo nga, na yun na po, yung match history ng EYYA. And of course, they were able to unfortunately take that. Actually, sa kanila pala lahat ng games. My apologies. That's 4-0 as of the moment, no? That was Reaper, of course, Inferno, very well-known teams, and still they were able to push forward. So this is a very, very strong team that we are waiting for in this first game. Paring up.
Yeah, dalawa pa lang, Cresho and Revelate, both players na I've seen around, especially in the top of the challenger rankings natin before. Pero ito na yung
Tinitext lang.
Tinitext lang, di ba?
Tinitext lang.
Ano ang kwentong League of Legends mo? Sabi nga dito ni West Point Esports Argona, I watched Faker win the 2013 World Championship when I was a kid. And I started dreaming of becoming a professional player. Grabe naman si Kuya.
Grabe yung inspiration. Walang tatalo sa ganun na inspiration. Pag childhood mo pa lang galing yung League of Legends. Grabe, passion na yun. Diba? Di lang wala nang iniisip ng pera. Kahit wala siguro yung pera. Basta may chance lang na makapasok ka sa international stage. Be able to possibly, meet the person that you saw lift that trophy back in 2013.
Oh my God. Ito pala. Pinakita na yung predictions.
Oy! Ay, akala ko ano lang yun, chill questions lang yun.
Kanina.
Oo nga,
tinanong tayo ng front team kanina eh. Tapos ako parang, akala ko chill lang. Tapos ito pala, bisa na, screenshot yun na kung sino, mamalaman nyo mamaya kung sino manalo, sino yung tatash token nyo. Kung si Crazy Apple o si Dumpster Fire. Pinag-uusapan ka lang, parang kata medyo tinatalk up ko katong A kasi nakikilala ko din yung mga players like sila Crescent Revelate.
Wala na. Yung sinabi mo, WPE, nakikita dun sa sa overlay.
Oo, hindi na mo babalikan. Siyempre, nga to. Pag dumasisyon ako ng Simula, doon ako mag-stick at yun na nga. West Point, you got this.
Oy, ayan na. The commitment, ladies and gentlemen, nakikita nyo sa mga casters pa lang ng Liga Republika. Tingnan natin kung same commitment ba makikita natin ng mga teams as we wait on before our first game. But then again, what do you expect from both of these teams coming into this game? Apple, alam naman natin napaka-dominant nila, diba? Of course, they are able to play up on towards the late game kasi syempre nananalo naman sila throughout their qualifying brackets.
Yeah, what I expect, very high caliber League of Legends. Very high caliber, very exciting, very fun na panoorin. Again, these are best of 1 matches between these teams. It's a round robin here in Group A. So, especially Game 1, ito yung standard setting din natin na game na makikita between these two teams, and we'll see how they perform. Nakikita niyo yung countdown. We'll be starting the game soon. I believe after this, we'll get into draft in a bit, but before that, just gonna be going on to a quick bumper. Ayun na nga. Malapit tayo magsimula. Ito na nga, nagsimula na tayo actually. Like na drafting phase dito. Game 1 between West Point Academy and EYYA. Mukhang nasa blue side for game 1 dito ang West Point Academy.
Oo nga. And if I'm not mistaken, throughout the qualifier stage, parang very overwhelming yung win rate na nanggaling sa mga blue side teams. And of course, pwede naman natin actually, kinausapan namin to ni Salvatore nung nagka-cast kami.
Yeah.
Tas pretty much we kind of attributed it to the safety sa Baron takes, 'di ba? Medyo kasi safe lang kayong take doon as compared to the red side. But then again, there's also that objective in the bottom side of the map. So kaya whether or not the sides play a role, hindi naman natin alam, but yeah, very very overwhelming wins so far sa blue side natin.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we can attribute more blue side wins, it's in the drafting phase. Right now in the current state of I think for the current state of League of Legends, in the meta wise, hindi madaming high tier picks, right? There's a lot of picks that the teams go for that we see like we see. I remember in MSI we've seen early days of Bard. We see a lot of set up din na mga junglers. So when you have so many champions na pwedeng piliin, ang nangyayari kasi red side ang magbaban ng mga high tier na mga champion kayo, mga OP tier, mga hindi mo pwedeng bitawan, and then blue side reacts with more standard bans or mas targeted bans ang nangyayari for a certain strategy. So nagkakaroon ng leverage si blue side in that regard, no. But it's also gonna be on the side of red side na okay, kung kami dapat magbaban ng mga high tier picks. Pag pinakawalan namin yan, madami kami papakawalan ng high tier pick. On the first round, agad dalawa pwede namin kunin. So, it's that dance. It's that strategy, that game of chess that starts out in the drafting phase.
Oo nga. Because what the blue side can do definitely is yung mga bans nila lang siguro, yung mga scouted bans nila. And then of course, pinatira yung mga OP champs, and the more there are, eventually the picks is gonna return. So like you said, a very very well oiled dance. But of course, the first ban phase, if I'm not mistaken, is already over. WPA, what are they gonna pick first? And it is gonna be that Gwen. Ayan na po.
Okay, interesting. They immediately picked up the Gwen here for the side of West Point. Malakas na solo laner. It's gonna be most probably gonna go to the top lane for them. And usually when you see a Gwen, ang iniisip mo kaagad is late game scaling. Right? So sinaset up kaagad ngayon ng West Point. We want to to prioritize a late game scaling champion that most probably will be dominating on a split push setup.
Oo nga. And of course, there is gonna be a lot to be desired coming in from EYYA to try and respond to that. And this is what I love most about yung draft phase natin. No? Pretty much, just being able to respond to these kinds of picks. What imagine nila kung what the game is going to look like. Depende pa lang sa first few picks, diba?
Yeah. Very interesting bans din on the side of EYYA. Tinanggal nila yung Pantheon saka yung Twisted Fate. Both globals. Semi-global you can say din kasi hindi naman talaga pure global. But they went with a Nocturne, which is usually, it's a champion na masasabi natin semi-counter to a TF. Kasi kapag pinadilim mo, hindi naman mapapaliwanagan ni TF yung mapa. But very interesting as well, it signals to us na they want a strong side lane presence or yung side lane nila hindi basta-bastang matatalon.
Oo nga. And of course, it does make sense for EYYA to try and ban these semi-global champions. No, kung makikita natin, at least there's not gonna be that much of a response for pick-ups coming on from this Nocturne, should there be any, as we approach into the game. But of course, it's a very, very, very good combo, no? The Call of the Forge God, tsaka yung Nocturne ult. Because there's no sidestep available for you when you're unable to see where that ram is heading.
Yeah. Actually, very interesting yung sagot na West Point din, so, Azir range or in Call of the Forge God range abilities, pwedeng maiwasan ng Hallowed Mist, ng no-no zone ni Gwen and the Shinzao ultimate. Shinzao ult, pag hindi naman ikaw yung chosen one niya, pwede mo iwasan yung mga range na wala na sa bilog mo. So, two abilities right now kind of countered on the side of West Point. Pati yung Xayah can dodge the Call of the Forge God as well by time when the Nocturne ults her. So far, very competitive drafts from both teams.
Oo nga. And of course, with this Azir pickup coming out from EYYA, it already tells me that they're very, very focused on trying to go for these team fights, no? Di naman nila pinakawalan yung mga team fight potential nila. They're not really just going for the pickups, which what the Nocturne pick would have told me. I think they want to try and go for a lot of these team fights as well. And I think they're circling their draft around. Kaya na po, if they do pick up this Braum, and they do, their team fight seems very, very strong on the side of EYYA.
Yeah, team fight wise, they have really good control of choke points because of the Braum ult, yung Azir, pag yung mga sundalo niya nakatayo doon, pwede kayong matusok ng toothpick ng mga sundalo niya with the Ornn. My only problem here right now for EYYA is early game wise, it's only gonna be the Nocturne dealing a lot of the damage. So kailangan nilang samahan with a really strong with a AD carry that can deal a lot of that early game damage. Although you can say din naman that Ornn deals sufficient early game damage, but with seeing a Gwen and seeing a Shinzao, kaya kang patumbahin niya. And ito pa nga, Annie, another layer of CC, can burst down targets in front of her, can also help peel at the back, at the middle and the back of the fight. If ever may na-dive sa kanila. And finishing off with an Alistar. So far, I really like West Point Academy's composition. They're showing that they want to have options in a team fight. They have ways to engage. They also have ways to fight back and with counter engages.
Oo nga. Tsaka yung mga bans galing ng EYYA, no, it's pretty much telling me that they're trying to prevent strong counters to this Azir. The Yon and the Aurora ban, very, very interesting. And of course, even the Nico ban coming in from WPA, just trying to stop in overall. Because if you look at the pretty much the build of WPA's draft right now, no, there are a lot of very, very vulnerable to magic damage champions that I feel like could definitely be a hindrance, especially pag nagka-counter engage na yung Nico. But again, this is pretty much the full draft that you are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, for Game 1 between West Point Academy Esports and EYYA.
Yeah. Rounding out the composition for EYYA is the Lucian. Yun yung huling pinik nila. I was saying kailangan nila ng early game pick. Lucian Braum, one of the classic combos in the bot side. Possibly a kill lane there against the Xayah and the Alistar. We are gonna be looking at the early rotations here for the junglers of both West Point Academy and EYYA. On the side of West Point Academy, they do have a stronger jungler sa early na ganks on. Shinzao, level 2, level 3, kaya na niyan gumang, kaya na niyan punta sa lane, kaya na niyang makahanap ng kill and first blood for his team. While the Nocturne, not as much. We have to wait for this Nocturne to really hit level 6 para makuha niya yung full parts of his kit. There is two ways that both the Ornn and the Nocturne can go about this in the early game to help the Lucian. They can roam bot, both of them to go down there, use their ultimates to really take down the Xayah and the Alistar, and kung sino man yung level bot from the side of West Point Academy, or early on, rotate nila kaagad sa mid yung Lucian, take control of objectives early on. That is what I'm seeing here for the composition of EYYA.
Oo nga. And of course, pretty much the Braum pick, no? Grabe talaga yung utility niya coming into this game. I feel like yung mga Xayah feathers, tsaka yung Gwen ultimate actually is something that he can save and soak up a lot of damage for his team from. But again, looking at the bot lane, no? The bot lane matchup that we have, it seems as though parang sa level 1 lang, I think EYYA would like to try and take advantage of it. Kasi di naman ganun kalakas yung level 1 game ng Alistar. Probably one of the worst level 1 support champion siguro. Dapat pa siya makalapit, or unless he uses that flash very early on, which I doubt, no, to try and go for these engages. But yeah, EYYA will try and get that, will try and pretty much capitalize on that in level 1. If they are able to take advantage of that, I think it could definitely make it easier for the bot side priority coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, kung 2v2 yun, yung maglalaban doon, no? In the bot side, the Alistar Xayah will most likely give up the wave level 1. They'll try to get as many CS lang. Usually naman kasi, ang labanan ng the laning phase is, especially for marksmen, is magbibilangan kayo ng auto-attacks na binato sa clips. Kailangan mo i-match para makuha yung wave. And then to shove it. Usually Lucian has a better shove just because of his Q ability. Pag nalinya yung mga minions sa double tap, Xayah can fight back with the Q of her own, but it's not as effective. So most likely ang mangyayari doon, if the Alistar Xayah lane is gonna play it correctly for level 1, they'll give up the lane after they get like the first 3 melee minions and let the Lucian shove. But what we're gonna be looking at there as well is kung gaano ka-aggressive ipopwesto ni Crescio yung kanyang Braum. If makatago siya sa bush, matalo nila yung Xayah and yung Alistar with a bush check there in level 1 in the bot side. That could surely be a kill lane if there is an ignite on the Braum.
Oo nga. So ayan na po, a lot of possibilities, no? Of course, especially when it starts, but it goes down to how these teams, as most League of Legends games do, no? They play the macro at saka yung micro din naman nila towards their lanes. But of course, in terms of bottom priority, I have to give it to EYYA.
Yeah.
The Braum, too strong, obviously, to try and stop this Xayah early on. They should have priority, should be able to gain Dragon Prio as well coming into this game. But we'll see how it happens, no? Kasi pretty sure WPE aren't just gonna let that happen, di ba? May gagawin din silang rotation siguro to try and stop that from happening. But we'll see.
Itong graphic talaga natin na ito na nakikita yung
tingnan
mga
mo yung Lucian, boy. Galit na galit.
Itong mga champion natin, habang nag-iintay na mag-load in yung players natin, nag-auto farm lang lahat. They're just,
grabe.
lalo na yung
si Ani, bata lang yan, ha? May teddy bear pa, pero nag-aura farm pa rin.
Pero lahat sila umaanda, lahat sila gumagalaw, humihinga. Si Lucian hindi. He's just staring into your soul. Literally.
Nasa gitna pa. Perfect, di ba?
Look at this man. Look at this man just staring into the soul of that Alistar.
Naka-Jojo pose.
Jojo. Kaposing sila. Pero ito na nga. Tayo ay magsisimula na sa Game 1 of our group stages here in Liga Republika. It's gonna be between West Point Esports against EYYA. And ito na nga, lalabas na mga champions sa base. Mukhang so far standard starts. No, we're not gonna be seeing any funny business happening here.
No, I don't think, not definitely. Lalo na yung mga level 1 ng mga karamihan ng mga champs na pinipick ng mga teams natin. Parang hindi talaga yun for those skill engages, apart from siguro yung mga CC na meron na like this Annie with already a full stack passive at start, no? Pero we talked a lot about the bottom lane, and vision already shown by Otter. We talked a lot about the bottom lane, but of course on this top lane din, trying to deny the vast majority of the scale na makukuha ng Gwen is gonna be this ore, no? With the stout shield, no less, parang di ata mahuhulog na to.
Yeah.
It is gonna be very, very hard to try and bring 6 God down, especially in the early game.
Yeah, in the top side, it's just gonna be farming for the most part here for both Wellia and 6 God now with a dual and shield start. Looking at the Keystone Masteries, then not a lot naman out of place. Press the attack is the usual na nakita naman talaga natin on Illusion, but that really tells us na okay, press the attack, really good value in the early game. So if this Illusion is able to get a jump with the Braum on the bot side, there's a high chance that they can get a lot of damage and maybe even a kill.
Yep. And of course, I kind of figured, no, it could have been possible for EYYA to try and go for a late invade. Pero again, I think the pressure and just trying to play safe, no, lalo na dito sa group stage natin, you've already taken a very, very big step towards possibly fighting for the championship. No, I don't think they want to risk anything for a late invade play.
Mahirap din kasi yung late invade eh. Pero, ito, tinulak lang nila yun yung Lucian. Pero mahirap yung late invade kasi it's still a Annie and a Shin Zhao. Like early game against a Nocturne and an Azir, or let's say if it's the Lucian Bomb, no, Lucian Bomb lang ang lumalamang dito ngayon talaga. On the side of EYYA and the bot side, and the top side, that's most likely gonna be even. In the mid lane, may chance din to na maging even between these two. In terms of lane state, pero mas malakas ang shoving potential kasi ng Azir. So Pryo again here, gonna be in the mid lane. Ang labanan talaga between the Annie and the Azir is yung kill threat ng Annie doon sa Azir.
Oo nga. So, sa ngayon, yung mga junglers natin, no, pretty much nagki-clear lang. Xin Zhao, I think, looking towards mid here, try and establish a play. But Gauter's pretty safe as a moment. That is gonna be a jump into a stun. Unfortunately, will not lead up to anything, no? Pero ano naman gamit ng summer spells natin pag di natin gagamitin, di ba? Yun yung big poke coming in from Gauter.
Kailangan mag-cooldown. But still, that is a flash down for the Azir, and mababa na rin yung mana niya ngayon. If the Var does decide to go back, most probably mid lane siya babalik kasi nga alam nilang walang flash na to si Gauter, but we still need to see kung ano yung magiging sagot dito ng EYYA. Kasi one of the things na ganun, if you know what the information that the other team knows, like flash down, mga ganun, may chance ka na ma-anticipate, and that's where the jungle instincts kick in, the jungle senses of when and where to counter gank kick in, no? Pero ito ngayon, yung Nocturne, andito.
That is gonna be a little bit of engage. Ang Grona, wala na yung flash. Actually, decides to back out lang. Nagre-recall din naman yung, si Gauter for that reset. Has the TP as well available. But again, look at, as of the moment, no, si Xin Zhao nag-clear pa ng blue niya. You can already see the strength of a Nocturne clear very, very early on. Siyempre, wala naman siyang time na i-invest para magagank early on. There is gonna be a little bit of a skirmish dito sa bot lane. But again, as predicted, EYYA pretty much pushing back WPA's bot lane, no, sa tower nila.
Wait, na-realize ko lang si Velati yung support. So, kaya siya doesn't play support na pala. Sorry, medyo na-shook ako doon. Pero tong Nocturne wasn't seen. There was no war. Thank you to observers for showing us a fog of war right now. Nandoon lang sa may bilog sa Gedli yung ating Nocturne. They're baiting them in.
Dito. Saan ba siya? Ayan
na. No. Okay, I think wala na kasi magsa-shove na yung Lucian eh, makaka-reset na yung Lucian saka yung Alistar. I think the Lucian and the Braum. The Nocturne was there for more safety. No. Kasi nga
wala rin naman walang mana din yung Braum doon eh.
Low din eh.
So I don't think.
Low din yung Lucian saka yung Braum. So pag ginawa ng Alistar, at least nandoon siya as the extra man.
Maaring magiging trade pa yun. So of course, pretty much a standard game coming into this first game natin, parang Apple. No, there's not a lot to expect, but I'm pretty sure by that time these champions start getting their ultimate abilities, I think something's gonna be happening, especially around the objective time, no. So it is gonna be a Mountain Drake for our first dragon coming into game 1.
Nakakatawa naman, may na tayong mga ganong graphics. Lumalevel up ang ating broadcast kada linggo. Nakita nga natin doon Mountain Drake, so most probably Mountain Soul. No, hindi pala most probably. Sure na Mountain Soul ang lalabas dito for our game 1 when we do reach that point in the game, no. And with how the game's panning out, no big leads yet for any of these teams, and with the late game scaling on the side of EYYA, there's a very high chance makakarating tayo sa point na we might be seeing Soul later on.
Oo nga. That's probably one of the greatest souls as well, I'd like to add. No? Grabe talaga yung late game utility from a Mountain Soul. Just that shield as well as, the tankiness that you get from every Mountain Drake that you get. Seems as though EYYA already starting it out.
Yeah.
Yung may vision naman yung WPE dito, pero I don't think they're gonna try and contest. Especially it is gonna be a little bit late.
Oh, they are.
Kasi Abe, the knock-up already onto him. Gets stunned though. He's in the middle of the rest of the EY. Red team will be able to claim the Dragon Drake. A pushback coming in from the Emperor's Divide. Is it gonna be enough damage though? That is gonna be a trade. Devoured goes down, but so does Gouter. They're still going for Mist. Mahuhulog ata. Yan na.
Yun na nga.
The feat of warfare kaagad. Para ng Nocturne.
2 for 3 in favor here of EYYA. Really good job from them. I was also about to say kanina na very standard play for the side of EYYA. They had priority in the bot side of the map with the Lucian and the Braum. Alam na natin malakas yung kill set nila. Tapos kanina, nauna din silang makarecall. So, una silang nakakuha ng items. Kaya din, mas una silang nakashove ng wave. No? When we saw that the Dragon was about like 2k HP, actually 6 God might be in danger.
Oh, that is gonna be the call of the Forge God. 6 actually has to flash away. Pero yan na po, the return flash from Relia will claim his life. Loses the 1v1. Unfortunate from our own. Tapos you really don't want to give this scaling potential coming in from this Gwen. No? Ayaw mong mag-snowball yun. Could be very, very big problems from EYYA.
Sabi ni Relia kay Azived, okay lang, sige, chill mo lang ako dyan sa gilid. Kaya ko na to. Kaya ko na to. Kasi may backup eh. And I
respect the 1v1.
Yeah.
Respect the 1v1.
Yeah. Really good play right there from the side of WPE Academy. They lost the Dragon fight earlier, gave out a couple of kills on this Nocturne. So the Nocturne will be scaling pretty well. With Relia getting those kills, so the 1v1 on the bomb, on the Ornn, it means that this Gwen will be scaling quicker and at the same time relieving some of that pressure from the team.
Unfortunate na from 6 God dito. Hindi na siya makabawi. Of course, very, very good play coming from WPA here. They knew that their bot lane was a little bit disadvantaged. Well, not a little bit actually. Pretty disadvantaged against the Braum, no? So, of course, they are going to be rotating towards this top side. As Devoured is now going to get a start on the grubs.
Okay.
Uy, grub.
Yeah. Ang ganda ng graphic. Tapos meron pa yung, oh my God, yung pagtanggal. Pero actually, I want to point this out right now kasi it very much matters. Tignan mo yung item ng Ornn. Nakadalawang null magic mantle siya. 6 God was building against the Gwen.
The Gwen.
And then, nag-lane swap. Ang WPE, walang bisa ngayon yung magic resist niya kasi meron ditong, it's the marksman. Saan yung ult ng Nocturne?
That is gonna be on towards the bot side. Finish back on towards this Nocturne. Unfortunate. Under tower pa. Grabe yung ginawa ng WPE. It is gonna be a pushback from EYYA. They have to disengage with that Azir. No? A little bit unfortunate from them. Nawalan pa sila kahit na sila naman sana gumawa ng play coming on towards that bottom side.
Ang layo ng play, no? I would love to see the replay ko. Ano yun na nga. Then I wasn't really looking at the map kasi nakatingin ako doon sa items ni 6 God. But I believe it was a red buff. Either a conflict in the red buff or a possible steal coming in. No, it was most probably a steal coming in from the Nocturne. And really good heads-up play from the side of West Point. Imagine they had more pressure in the top side. They had their dual laner as well as their jungler taking the gubs. But Agona on the Annie as well as if taking things in their own hands, defending their jungle and taking down the Nocturne as well. Really, really good play.
Oo nga. What confuses me sa ngayon no, is because earlier, nakikita kong may CS gap yung top lane. Gwen was pretty much leading by around more than 10 CS. Nung nagkaroon ng lane swap, it seemed as though WPE, parang sila ata yung nagka-disadvantage doon. Because right now, this Lucian is again still ahead on CS. But now, the Ornn is pretty much caught up. And ayun na, bumalik na si Gwen sa top lane. So, yung mga magic resist na binibuild ng Ornn natin, di naman, it doesn't go to waste necessarily.
It's more of the call right now, no? ng West Point na ibalik yung Gwen. I think mas nahirapan yung Gwen on the duo. Kasi That's a bomb and a Lucian. Scary lane. And kahit sabihin natin, okay, Gwen has the Hallowed Mist. She can dodge out range attacks. Bomb is melee. And Lucian has a dash to go in. Pwede pa niya i-block yung stun. So there's still a lot of pressure on the Gwen. Kaya din natin nakita nag-even out yung CS probably nga because of that pressure, as well as when we saw earlier, the Ornn was just farming the top side. Nag-crash din yung wave into his turret. So if you think on the individual matchup, lumamang doon yung Ornn. But with what happened during that swap, lamang ang West Point eh.
Oo nga. But it seems as though, as of the moment, no, medyo even lang muna yung mga teams natin. Lalo na sa net worth. But of course, it is gonna be distributed evenly. As right now, yung Ani kasi, 3-0 na yun sa mid.
Yes. 3-0 na siya. Nakamali. Oh my God! Really good gap right here.
Ayan na po, yung Emperor's Divide will catch out Agro na big pick up as well. At ayan na po, hindi lang yung Call of the Forge God dapat titingnan ng WPA, no? Pag may nangyayaring Nocturne Ultimate. Of course, the Emperor's Divide as well, something that can pretty much nuke you down and just pretty much ruin your position as a team.
Yeah, Dragon being taken right here for the side of EYYA. They have momentum on the map. Walang Ani dito. 2k HP.
The Dragon fight. EYYA dancing around here. WPA very interested in contesting, but again, they lose it once again to EYYA. Here comes the engage. The culling already being popped as well. Here comes the Call of the Horde God. Who is it gonna land onto? It is gonna be a pushback on towards this one as well. Devoured falls down. Revelate medyo getting low. WPA Azeved trying to knock up this Thirst. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of damage coming in from WPA as well. That is gonna be the Nocturne flashing out as they do lose Azeved. Goter, the only one remaining. Parang kamali at ang posisyon yung Azir dito. He will be stunned down. But of course, Revelate trying to get missed will be unsuccessful.
In the end, 2-for-3 exchange in favor there of West Point Academy. But Dragon does go to the side here of EYYA. Dalawang Dragon na ang meron sila. They're getting near to that soul point, no? But in the end, also, if you think about it, medyo questionable yung naging engage ng West Point because it was a 4v5 situation. But wait a minute, before that, Devoured going for the 1v1 here against the Nocturne. Naku, binalikan pa niya. Hindi na po Kyoto! Okay. It's gonna be enough there. For WP, Devoured getting one more kill in their in their belts. Pero yeah, going back to that fight now. If you think about it, okay, 4v5, not the best time to go in. But West Point knew na madaming binato ng abilities yung EYYA. They threw the Emperor's Divide as well as the Nocturne ult when they picked off the Gona in the mid lane, and then when they were taking Dragon, then they were also throwing abilities on the Dragon. So they went for that re-engage to try to at least even out or at least get something back after they gave out that Dragon.
It seems as of the moment that both of these teams, there's a lot of confidence going around, no? Kaya nga may mga skirmishes tayo na, like, we actually have an 8-6 on the scoreboard at 30 minutes of the game. That's pretty big. Yung unang game natin, like the very first game of Liga Republika, yung qualifiers yung day 1.
Yeah.
Actually, the 0-0 lang yung scoreboard up until like 14 minutes a game. Tama ba?
Yeah.
And it's like, grabe talaga yung patience ng mga teams doon, no? Grabe, kinabahan pa.
Kami ni Cheese na nag-cast na, naalala kayo, walang nagyaya.
Oy! Diba? Nangyari yung simula pa lang. Ngayon, 8-6 na tayo
Yeah, it's because these two teams have been, G na G sila makipag-away. And that's also one of the things na makikita natin on these objective fights. Pansin mo din, most of the fights have been around objectives, have been contesting like red buffs and stuff like that. And that is a mark of a very experienced na team in League of Legends. Hindi lang kayo basta-bastang nag-go 1v1 bigla. You fight for objectives, and that is the usual points of conflict. And I also want to touch on yung napag-usapan natin kanina before the broadcast, Dumpster, na yung pag-add ng mga bagong neutral sa game like Atakan. It gives a different flavor, and it adds those points of conflict that hypes us up as viewers and casters of the game. But also when you're playing the game, it adds that layer of, okay, pwede tayo kumambak dito, pwede din natin tong gamitin para pataasin yung lead. It adds that extra, strategy into the game.
At dito na si Relia, the bottom tower of WPA, taking a lot of hits here. That's 3 caster minions to go. Parang ang sakit talaga ni Gouter, no? And that push Relia has to come in eventually to try and stop this bottom lane from getting bottom. Of course, the Herald is gonna be spawned instantly started into the Devourer, but there is gonna be engaged already on the middle lane. Kung makikita natin, Lucian already low. Missed on a killing spree sa Saya na to. That's gonna be a problem later on for EYYA if they're unable to stop that lead.
Yeah, sayang di natin nakita how that fight started. Pero, teka lang.
Oh, grabe naman. Instant burst once again. Every time we look and an Emperor's Divide comes out, nawawala na kagad si Relia. And a little bit unfortunate for them as well. Their first death of the game actually. It's gonna be very, very problematic. I wanted to point out din, no, na tong Ani na to, she has one very, very clear objective. That's to catch out and burst down yung mga pretty much the weaker components or the very, very soft components of EYYA. And that's gonna be, of course, quick, just the flash in plus the ultimate. Kasi yung nangyayari kanina sa teamfight, nag-TP yung Ani. Tapos yung Lucian, nakatayo lang sa kung saan naka-TP yung Ani. Instant ult onto him and he goes down. And that's gonna be something that he's gonna try and have to evade. Kasi yun lang din naman kailangan gagawin ng Ani. Pag hindi niya magawa yun, very up in the air yung utility niya in these team fights and pretty much yung usefulness niya as a whole.
Also, it helps then not just the utility, but the chicken burst down targets just because she's ahead. Right? 4-1-3 ngayon tong Ani natin, Agona. And usually nga, when you're not that ahead as an Ani, you're just more of a stun bot. But now, able to deal the damage as well. West Point, actually, taking control of the river here. As the Ocean Drake has spawned, ito yung third Drake natin of the game. They do want to take this now, or at least challenge this from EYYA. Kasi nga, nearing to soul point ng EYYA. Yeah.
Oo, dalawa na yung meron sa kanila eh. So of course WPA definitely have to take it right now. But looking at the map, it seems as though middle is now opened up on the side of EYYA, no? Nasira na yung turret nila. So that's gonna be a little bit of an advantage coming from WPA, especially with how they're going to approach this dragon fight. Where you can go from the backline, try to get a flank from behind, but depende lang naman nila. It seems as though they're pretty much spread out here. And of course EYYA trying to assemble all members here as Gauter arrives through a portal ng mala Avengers.
Si Gauter ka nag-TP in eh. Nako, si Debard, alam na nandiyan ka. Pinlock yung dragon, ikaw yung binugahan. Alam nilang may tao doon sa bush kundi naman nila nakita kanina.
They caught us, bro, di ba?
The jig is up! The jig is up!
Na-reveal yung position. Grabe. And of course, Devoured will still hit anyway. He does have enough sustain.
TP
but
for Relia.
That's gonna be the start. The Call of the Forge God as well. Plus the ultimate coming from the Nocturne. The Culling instantly popped here coming from Lucian. Has to cancel it out instantly though.
Oh no. Yeah. This Nocturne.
It's gonna be Revet, but on towards the backline. That's gonna be this Nocturne. Mispositioned. Na-pick off na kaagad. And of course, EYYA has to disengage out of that. Wala naman silang smite eh. There's no point in trying to contest that dragon.
That was okay, really good positioning for the side of West Point Academy. Nag-ball up sila. Nung nag-pop yung Nocturne ult, nakapindot na si Relia on the TP. So hindi na-stop or na-cancel yung TP ni Relia on the Gwen, was able to get to the fight. The weird part there was the engage of the Nocturne at the back. I think iniintay kasi nila ng EYYA na pumasok yung Nocturne. Pag pumasok doon yung Nocturne, there's a chance that the Azir would have scooped everybody up. With the Emperor's Divide, but they didn't have Ornn ult na at that point of the fight. So it was gonna be hard. Top side here, no, Ani might be in danger, pero palating din ni Alistar.
Grabe, pero that is gonna be Azir here though. The flash! He didn't get the W. Proceed na lang.
Wala kayo nakita.
Still in trouble. Exhaust being popped here as well. It seems as though he will go down. Here comes the Nocturne trying to get something out of this. Pero tatlo yan eh. Galing ng WPA. The rest of EYYA trying to show up towards this top side. Show the regression. But WPA will get that freebie and back out. Parang na-stun nata yung Azir sa ginawa eh.
Guys, wala
sa doon boy.
Mag-agree tayo ngayon. Wala tayong nakita. Azaved, good job. Good job. Support, good job.
Good job. Good job. Uy.
Teka lang. Okay. Good job. Good job kay Azevedo. No?
Good job. Oo. Nice, grabe. Yung play yun kasi eh. Wala siyang nakikita doon. That is gonna be... Na-stun nga si Gauter yun, nakita ko men, parang di siya gumalaw for like 0.5 seconds. Mini-stun. May
emotional damage. may emotional damage doon sa kay Gauter. Parang, teka lang. Go that pero still, that was a pick-off. Really good pick-off right there from the side of West Point Academy.
Yes,
Paakyat na nga yung Alistar nung tinry ni Gauter to go for a play. And kind of seeing the crack at the seams. Right? Yun yung metaphor in English. Nakikita mo na dahan-dahan na nagkakaroon ng desperation plays ang EYYA. Like, You don't need the Azir didn't really need to do that. At most, it was just gonna be harassment on the Annie kasi walang stun yung Annie. You can dish out damage, but you don't really see that happening most of the time. So EYYA needs to get back their composure here. They're not out of it.
Yep.
They still have the Azir with a really, really good team fight presence. The Ornn just needs to hit a good ulti on the side here for West Point. Okay.
Oh, ayan na po. That is gonna be new cycle already popped as well. Pero dalawa sila naman doon. Revelate as well as this Lucian actually in the response. Pero of course, WPA will decide to back out. Atakan is available. Just cut up. 20 minutes na po tayo, ladies and gentlemen. Napakabilis lang, no? 20 minutes na kaagad sa lahat ng mga nangyayari. And of course, WPA looking to take one objective for themselves. They got the dragon earlier. Could be a possible fight here. Oh, Nocturne getting bursted down. Left to half HP as well. But Azemed is already in the backline. Walang knock-up na gaganap dito.
Wala po pansin kay Counter!
As well with the call of the Forge God. They bring him down. Revelate has to flash over the wall. But there's gonna be a chase on towards this Lucian as well. Azemed push back.
Saya's no ulti.
Trying to disengage. But Gauter and the gap close is just too much coming in from EYYA.
Yeah, 2-for-1 exchange right here. Both the Lucian and the Braum are low on the side of EYYA, but they're still looking at this Atakan. May wards ba dito? Alam, the ward is on the sidelines para ma-check, pero mukhang hindi nila iti-take. Really, really good fight right there from EYYA. I think there was a bunch of miscoms right there from the side of West Point Academy. Masyado silang lumalim, chasing down the Nocturne, na break tuloy yung kanilang formation, na iwan mag-isa yung Xayah. And Gauthar with a really, really good flank, just dealing the damage on the Xayah is prevented West Point Academy earlier from taking the fight and as well dealing more damage against the EYYA lineup.
Oo nga, and that is gonna be a little bit of a problem coming in from WPA. No? If they keep making these mistakes, of course, EYYA will capitalize on them. Nakikita naman natin, 6 God, excellent counter engages with the call of the Forge God. He actually got a 3-man knockup, if I'm not mistaken, sa class na yun. And that was already big enough for EYYA to capitalize. They have the damage coming in soon as well. And the second items have now been picked up from the Azir and Lucian. I actually expected WPA to get ahead out of that fight, but later on as they try to take this middle lane, the tower is still up. 6 God taking a lot of help now, already gone as well. Missed na naman makakuha sa kill na yun. Rampage na yung Xayah na yun. He already has 2 items as well under his belt. Not looking good for EYYA on towards the late game side. No? Parang mag-scale na ata ng maayos ng Xayah na to.
Yeah, Xayah in a really good spot na. 4-1-4 right now, 2 items already, Essence Reaver as well as the Navari being completed on the champion. With the next day coming up, West Point is in a good position. Nakita mo na yung pestuhan ng kanilang ni Agona as well as na Azemed, just taking up positions, mostly standing as this kind of living ward for the side of West Point. And maganda naman dito yung sagot ng EYYA kasi kitang-kita nila yung the dragon being taken. No? Hindi pumasok doon sa bush inside the pit with the control ward. So EYYA knows that West Point is on the dragon committing there. That's why you can see where Gauthar is taking down the tower on the top side. But with this Atakan being taken in right now, there's a chance EYYA goes in for the engage.
Oh, ayan na po, that is gonna be the ultimate as well being popped, but blue team take it out and make out like bandits, ladies and gentlemen. No? Tumakas na kaagad. That's pretty much a good take up coming in from WPA. They're currently ahead around 2,000 net worth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's all too game changing, lalo na naman na magkapareho lang naman yung na-build ng items ng mga kanilang core members. Diba? 2 items sa Annie, Azir, Xayah, at saka yung Lucian.
Yeah. And the gold isn't that much because EYYA is also taking down turrets. Like ito, nakita natin, they took down the mid lane, they took the top lane. 1,000 na lang yung gold lead dito ng West Point Academy. But I think right now, what we have to look at and why West Point Academy is the one who feels like it's in the lead, it's the momentum and the tempo. Right? Sila yung sila yung nakagawa ng mga plays. They're the ones taking initiative. They're the ones controlling the map. And because of that, EYYA is playing on the back foot. But at the same time, EYYA doesn't really feel like they need to up the tempo that much. They still have the Azir as their late game insurance. They can still deal the damage. Unfortunately nga lang, it's not the Lucian that's taking control of the game na pinag-usapan din natin in the draft earlier na Lucian should be this late game champion, early game champion that would have taken control of the bot side of the map. And they did, at least taking the earlier dragons. But as the game has gone on, West Point Academy has just shown that they have really solid team fighting, and that's taking a bit of a I mean, a bit more of a loop. Pero ito, pasok ulit yung Nocturne.
Ayun, yung paranoia, pumasok na agad yung Nocturne. It seems that they want to try and deny this blue buff, but really, they're just looking for a skirmish here. Yung WPA naman, hindi naman natatakot. They're trying to go for the blue buff once again. As if they're taking a lot of damage. The culling already chopping up. That's an IE on the Lucian. Masakit na yun.
Binigyan niya ng masahe sa likod eh. Yung Alice nagpapatuloy ng ulti, so tumakbo.
Yung back massage lang yun.
Pero delikado to delikado tong EYYA. Pag di nila nakuha tong Baron, look at the side lanes. Look at where Relia is, pushing down the bot side of the map.
Oo nga, they're very, very willing to go for this 5v4, but it could just possibly abate as they try and focus down. Devour Deep goes down already. That's gonna be
Relia
the
tipping in.
The abilities are already being popped from A as well. Aaron, that's gonna be the Emperor's Calling already being popped as well. Miss though is here, just free hitting somebody. Stop Messiah! Oh my god! Triple kill coming in from Mist, and WPA capitalize.
4v5 for the most of that fight, no? WPE,
My
WP,
God.
West Point Esports Academy is now taking the Baron after the ace. Parang di na nga nila kailangan si Relia eh. Parang pwedeng nag-split push lang si Relia, but still, immaculate positioning from Miss right there.
Grabe naman
Kiting
talaga.
the fight, taking both, maximizing the usage no from the feathers.
Oo nga, but of course, I think I have to take a little bit of accountability. Parang hinayaan lang naman nila si Mist eh. Like, there wasn't a lot of CC. They didn't try and focus him down first, obviously. And it seems as though I think that was a very, very big mistake, knowing that he already was leading in terms of kills. And I think in terms of gold as well.
Yeah.
So now, the gap between the ADCs are just even more so. And I think they're trying to do a lot with the paranoia coming in from the Nocturne, no? Ni EYYA. But of course, yeah, it is gonna go down to how WPA respond to that. If they actually lose members, then okay, good for EYYA. I think that's what they've been trying to do anyway. But just the way WPA has been responding, no, to the vast majority of these paranoias coming out from this Nocturne.
Again, just going back to that fight. Okay, actually, before we go back to the fight, there's another fight right here.
May fight na kagad. Stun coming in from Azave. WPA trying to gain more because they know they're in the lead. The culling already popped out. Will hardly hit on towards anyone. They lose Revelate. And now EYYA are losing one member for around half a minute as WPA looking to march towards this middle lane.
Yeah, but look at the side lane. Gauter still trying to get some gold on the top side of the map. About to take on turrets. Pero Lucian, only one defending. Hindi. He's not gonna be able to defend this. The mid lane turret's down. The bot side then Relia is shoving in here. Dumpster. This is all bad side now for EYYA.
This is bad. And of course, the bottom side has a lot of minions pa rin. Again, these are Baron-empowered minions. WPA trying to push out the two members trying to defend here from EYYA. That's gonna be this Lucian as well as 6 God. But there, they take 2 inhibitors. They're happy with that. Mag-back na lang sila muna. And of course, they were unfortunately able to trade that top inhibitor.
Can they cancel the TPs? Can they cancel the recalls? That's the question. If they cancel, hindi. Okay.
Wala.
So
Nagbabak lang din naman si Gauter. He didn't want to risk it. He knows that there is an objective already up as well. Paranoia pop.
This is a
Nag-iisa
TV4.
lang to. He could be... Oh, actually, there are 2 members yan. Nalilipat ako sa
TV5 pala.
Devoured will be brought down. Azave, the only one remaining member. But here comes Mist. We know he's pretty tangy already. He has a lot of damage coming into this game. Emperor's Divide.
Mag-isa lang siya.
Back, parang si Mist.
Isa sa 5.
This was the play that EYYA were trying to do. Ayan na. They left the Saya alone, but it didn't matter. They got her in the end.
What?
Very good play.
What a surround from EYYA right there on the brink of losing the match, of losing this game. They have taken down 4 members of West Point Academy. Iniwan pa nila mag-isa si Miss. Napapaligiran ng 5. And because of that, they are now at Soul Point. This is still not the landslide win for EYYA. Hindi pa ito yun. But they are,
of course.
but they've taken the steps of getting back control of this game.
Oo nga. At ayan na po yung Ocean Drake. Soul Point now for EYYA. A little bit unfortunate for WPA. But again, you have to think about putting yourselves in their shoes, no? They had to back kasi ando naman yung Azir nagpo-push. Relia gets the successful recall. Now they are mismatched, diba, in terms of numbers advantage, which now was on EYYA's side. Pero kahit naman nun, kahit nagbaback na sila, EYYA's chase down was just too much. And they had to commit to the fight anyway. And they lost 4 members because of it.
It was, again, chaotic siya. No? Very chaotic set of plays, and again, kudos to EYYA from really taking back at least some control of this game. Looking at the items, 4 na nabuo dito ni Gauther on the Azir. Already has the Death Cap, has the Void Staff, Dasher Suit, as well as the Rylai's. Masakit na yan. Kada saksak ng mga sundalo ni Azir, parang mini burst damage na. Yun ang pakiramdam niyan, lalo na kung yung Zaya yung matatamaan niya.
Alam naman natin yung burst damage nang galing sa Azir, no? Nagvo-void staff Rabadons pa yun. But looking at the CS, he's actually up 100 CS against this Annie. But again, sinabi naman natin, of course, in terms of scaling and just pretty much strong team fight, it is gonna be the vast majority of this Azir, especially with the consistent damage na ino-offer niya. And Annie has a very, very simple job, no? Which is to pretty much use her abilities to burst down yung mga core members and try to make as much havoc wreak possible gamit yung T-burst niya.
Yeah.
So pretty much right now, stalemate lang muna, diba? It's just a chill game. Nagtitrade din naman yung EYYA for that top inhibitor. They did lose 2, pero medyo maganda naman yung placing nila dahil ng team fight na yun.
Niisip ko yung perfect fight dito for the side of West Point, no. They do have ways to dodge out the long range abilities, like the Call of the Forge God, na as well as the Nocturne, pa hindi sila matamaan, which is gonna be yung no zone dito ng Gwen. But still, with the siege right now here in the top side, I feel like Agona and Azeved nakasalalay sa kanila. We need to see kung saan sila magpa-flank, saan yung engage nila, and they just might be looking for a bait right here for the side of EYYA, and EYYA playing very, very disciplined. Hindi sila tutulak dito, just defending their turrets. Lugi din sila at this point in time pag nag-move forward sila sa mapa. Sila yung dalawang inhib nila sa mid saka sa bot side. There's a lot of pressure coming in from the minions right there, so they need to wait for their inhibs to come back before they really try to push out towards the map.
Oo nga, because at this point, no, with openings on both sides of the map, it feels like this team fight could possibly spell doom for either of these teams. So of course, dapat hayaan nila yung mga inhibitors nila na bumalik. And of course, it is gonna be whether or not how they build and scale towards this game. Kasi itong Annie na to, looking at her items, I'm not very convinced, no? Nagiging stun bot nga siya yung sinabi mo kanina.
More on stun bot na lang talaga siya ngayon at this point in time, you don't really have the damage. Wait.
Right under their noses. That's gonna be the Baron taken from WPA. And now EYYA cannot lose disengage. That's a Baron from them as well. They have to disengage right here. Revelate. Yung shield. nasa likod na kaplayo. And of course,
pumasok.
trying to push back here. That's gonna be a pushback. Knock up onto Azeved. Gauther here on the backline though. They have their sights set on the Azir. Very annoying. But look at this top side here. Devoured naman. Pretty good HP as well. The vitality is there from him. EYYA trying to slowly disengage out of this fight. Flashes has been used.
Napapaligiran sila.
Trying to pincer WPA. They're trying to close them na sa sandwich nila dito, but missed. Focusing on to Gauther. Taking a lot of damage. He has to pop the Featherstorm. Nagtitake na siya ng turret damage, and that's the burst coming in from the Emperor's Divide. Brings him down. Devoured nag-iisa lang din on the other side of the map. EYYA, they're doing it. Sayang naman from WPA. They had the Baron.
EYYA is coming back in this game, ladies and gentlemen. EYYA, what a team fight right there. Napakahaba, but with the flank from Gauther on the Azir, just corralling the members of West Point Academy. Hindi sila makaalis doon sa fight. Nag-ball up sila. Dahan-dahan silang iniisa din ng EYYA, picking them up one by one. And right now in the map state, it's a 2v5 state. Only Relia and Agron are alive with the Dragon about to come up. It's gonna be Soul here for the side of EYYA.
That's right. And it is gonna be the Ocean Soul, which deals damage to enemies, heals you for 150 and a poke. Thank you very much for that information brought to you by our prod, no? And of course, again, very, very important is that Featherstorm from the Saya. This is why decide not to focus Mist on early on, di ba? Kasi pag dinadrop na nila lahat ng mga abilities nila, meron din namang escape galing ng Featherstorm na yun, plus may cleanse pa din si Mist dito. But then again, because she used it to dodge an Azir passive turret shot, well, EYYA capitalized, and of course they were able to bring down 3. And I think that's something that if EYYA just keep being able to bring out here, no, yung mga mistakes na nanggagaling ng WPA, they have a very, very good shot at taking this game.
Yeah. Nako, Gauther, might be getting cut out? No.
Gauter nag-isa dito. That's gonna be the needlework being pushed back onto him. Wala namang damage sa Muna dito. It is a lot. Oh, very, very tanky people. Azabeth pushing back this Azir. WPA, do they really want to take this fight though? As of the moment, he's still a little bit on towards the Baron buff, but Azabeth gets bursted down kaagad. EYYA, they have the damage, the chase down. That's just gonna be the stasis to buy a little bit more time for his team to escape. And EYYA are now on the warpath as their minions have passed the middle lane mark.
This is endable. This is endable right here for the side of EYYA. It's a 3v5 situation at they're barreling towards the mid lane here. Dumpster fire. It's only gonna be the Gwen, the Xin Zhao, and the Xayah to defend the base.
They're shredding down those Baron, minions as if it was nothing in EYYA. They have their sights set. This is up to Miss Devoured and Relia to try and stop it here. Paranoia popped as well. A jump in already on towards the Xin Zhao. Was no fear available, but look at that. The towers are just dropping. Devoured as well. His HP bar not looking good. Azabeth is finally here, but he gets Emperor's Divine already on towards the backline as well.
Miss?
Relia with the needlework. They're doing more, but Relia and Miss is still alive. Miss,
Agrona?
definitely still very, very big problem coming in from EYYA as well. They have to back out. They are right now. 6 God bursted down. Relia, he has no needlework available, but that's still delusion. You can't run away from him while he uses that culling, but it seems as though EYYA will not be able to end the game.
Yeah, they weren't able to end the game. Successful defense right there from the side of WPE Academy. Miss coming in clutch along with Azabeth. Ang kailangan lang kasi talaga ni Miss in these fights para maka-free hit siya is space. Just needs a tank in front of him para to allow the Xayah to put down the feathers, and that's what we saw right there. When Azabeth came back into the map, was able to throw his life to defend the base, and then when Agrona came as well after like 10 seconds, they were able to successfully defend. Dumpster fire, it looked like it was about to end, but we're still here, we're still in this game, and man, is it so close.
That's right. WPA definitely trying to re-establish their presence once again all over the map. A little bit unfortunate from EYYA there, but it seems as though they're getting right back into it, no? 5 kaagad dito sa middle lane. They want to end it. They saw that they had it. They weren't unable to finish it just yet, but they're gonna try again.
Round 2.
This time, andito na yung WPA. Call before God as well. Being popped. The Paranoia coming in from EYYA. Walang nakikita yung WPA dito. Nakapaswal.
Okay.
The Emperor's Divide to push back on towards the backline. They're trying to gain a lot more damage. Gauter, again, very, very important here for EYYA. He needs to just do damage from the backline. Yung nangyari kasi ganyan, namamatay.
Teka.
Oh, that's gonna be a knock-up as well. On towards 2. A jump in from EYYA. That's gonna be 2 already. Gone
Triple kill
from EYYA as
Gonna get a
well.
quad?
WPA. They're chasing down.
Gets the quad.
Gauter. At Churima shuffle away. Nag-iisa na yung Azir, and that's nearly a minute left before he comes back. Walang minion sa ngayon, but it seems as though Gauter is getting his TP stopped here from Devoured.
Oh my God,
Could be a
EYYA.
chase down.
Don't do it. Why are you doing a G2 and FlyQuest in this game? You had it in the bag. You just needed to wait for the objectives. You just needed to wait for the Elder and the Baron. But now, WPE Esports coming back into this game, taking down 4 members, and now they're showing inhibitors. They might be able to take down the Nexus.
Alright, here comes the minions as well. Gauter has a big job to do here. Emperor's Divide up in a few seconds though. Is he gonna wait for it? Has to run away as of the moment. Could he defend? Revelate is already here. There's already 1-digit timers on towards EYYA. We're gonna be seeing a WPA moment once again. Azabeth brought down Agrona and Relia. Pop the time slices, and that's gonna be it. They are going down as well. The chase down from the Nocturne. Gwen, what's happening? HP? They bring down again. This is gonna be a turnaround. A turnaround of events, ladies and gentlemen. Back to back. Again, EYYA now. Successful defense. What's happening? What is happening, Apple?
I don't understand. Lahat sila nag-aalam at this point in time. We're 39 minutes into the game.
Wala nang sidelines.
Wala nang sidelines. Wala nang objective sa mapa. Laban na lang tayo sa mid lane, and with the death timers looking as well, 40 seconds for Devour, 20 seconds for Agona, 30 for Miss. This looks to be the end right here. Ito na mukhang yung definite end natin. Dumpster fire for EYYA.
Tapos wala namang inhibitor sa mid lane ng WPA, and it's gonna be harder for Relia to try and clear these minions. And again, it could be problematic here as they try and get the jump in. The Paranoia trying to zone out 1 remaining. Agrona already here, gets the triple stun, but look at that. They just focus the Nexus, and EYYA say bye-bye. We take game number 1.
EYYA takes match 1 here. in our group stage, and ito na lang masasabi ko sa no analysis yet. Ito lang masasabi ko sa iyo, Dub Surfer. If you were not entertained, you do not love League of Legends.
The back and forth is a little bit crazy for me, no? Di naman natin alam kung sino talaga yung mananalo doon. And like you said, you kept teasing them. Walang objectives, mid na tayo. And actually, that's what they did. Like, wala talaga. The Baron was up. No safe place here. This is the group stage, Single elimination pa rin to. It is gonna be depending on whether or not they're gonna be the top 1 sa kanilang respective groups.
Yeah, it's round robin, right? So, round robin siya na only one team advances. So,
right.
If you secure 2 wins,
you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
Wala na tatalo sa'yo kasi 3 teams lang kayo. So, with EYYA securing that win, they just need to win 1 more. Wow.
Oo nga. Tapos, ayun na po, grabe. Ang sayang. Pag ako si Mist, di ko alam anong mafe-feel ko, boy. Like, he was ahead for so long in the game. He pulled out an amazing plays, but EYYA being able to capitalize on that return, and I think it was a little bit greedy naman, no, for WPA to try and go for that end. Just to me, I felt like when I was looking at the timers, isang digit na lang natitira. Azir was there, he had Emperor's Divide, kailangan niya lang gawin is i-clear yung minions. Di nyo pa nasira yung inhibitor doon, so there wasn't that empowered big boy minion, diba? So it's very, very easy for Azir to defend. I feel like they should have taken objective din naman. But again, when all said and done, yun na yung result ng game natin.
I have to be honest with you, Dubster. I was so much in the moment doon sa back and forth na yun na hindi ako makapaniwala na nakakita ako ng back and forth na gano'n, na hindi ako tumingin muna sa death timer. Na-realize ko na nung huli na, nabubuhay na sila. Naku, makakadepensa pa ang EYYA, kala ko panalo na. Yung ganung moment, kasi talagang you get sucked into the pressure of the teams. You get sucked into what's happening right now in front of your screens, and grabe. Going back into
Look
that
how
game.
Even.
The gold. How dead even
yung gold, gabi even lang yung gold. Yung objectives, I think we're pretty well split. Dalawang baron din naman para sa WPA. It's just that, look at EYYA. They actually had more deaths and less kills coming into that game. They got their kills hanggang dulo na when it was the most important. And ayun po, yung damage dealt.
Grabe. Yung damage yun. Miss, definitely the MVP for the side of West Point. Grabe yung damage output niya, the immaculate positioning in that first Baron team fight. Na 4v5 situation, was able to dish out the damage with the feathers, maximizing everything in the kit of Xayah. Pero yung nangyari dito kasi at the later parts of the game, which nakita din natin sa isang dragon fight, I think it was the second or third dragon fight, si Gauther, pinelsonal niya si yung Xayah, si Miss. Siya yung nasa flank, siya yung tumutusok-tusok doon sa Xayah sa gilid with the Azir soldiers, and that is the pressure na napapunta doon kay Gauther. And looking back, Gauther was able to get 3 hits on an Azir, thinking that there is a Alistar and Xin Zhao in the composition of West Point. So really, really good job, no, for Gauther for most of that game. I really think if we do have an MVP wise ang vote ko ngayon kay EYYA, it's gonna be Gauther on the Azir.
Definitely. I think especially that play sa middle lane, no, nang nagsisement sa kanila. But of course the Braum as well. I have to point out din, no, yung needle point saka yung feathers ng Xayah, kahit naman may grabing plays din si Miss Don, I think Revelate was able to hold it up as well coming into that game. Di natin nakikita yung mga needle point na gumagawa ng yung trabaho nila, which is pretty much to try and burst. No? And I think that's just the positioning coming in from Braum, being able to hold it down. But as you said, Gauther as well on that Azir, especially that pincer in the middle lane that forced the ultimate Feather Storm coming out from Xayah, missed early on. When they got that team fight, I felt like EYYA finally cemented themselves on the rift.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really good job for both of these teams. So, sabi ko kanina, before we started the game, ang expectation ko dito sa match na to is very high caliber League of Legends. That's what we got right there. But before we head to our second match, we will just be going on a short break. Do expect that we're going to be having a lot more high caliber League of Legends matches as the day goes on. So don't go away. We'll be back in a bit.
Eyes were wide open as he saw me running through the trees. He said, "Little lady, why don't you slow down? I don't want you to hurt yourself now. I've been trying to run away from myself, change my DNA and be somebody else. I've been trying to escape, trying to change my skin. All I ever really wanted was a place to fit in. Thought I heard the moon talking back to me. He said, I know exactly what you mean. I never felt like I meant anything. I've been trying to run away from myself, leave this galaxy and be anywhere else. I've been trying to escape, I hate being alone. All I ever really wanted was someone to call home. Mr. Moon, I don't know if this means much to you, but planet Earth, well, she can't get enough of you. She's been writing you love songs and poems, and if you were to leave, I think she might be broken. Then the moon got quiet again, and I thought I had lost my new friend. And the moon said she feels the same way about you. She's been growing flowers for your hair, and she loves to hear you sing freely through the air. Did you know she's not been feeling well? I said, yeah, I could tell. She's been trying to fight life by herself. She's been trying to make a home for everyone else. She's been trying to be patient, trying to be kind, but all of this illusion is fogging her mind. Then I felt the earth shift beneath my feet, and I felt the warmth of the moonbeam. For the first time I felt okay in my skin, 'cause stop, won't quit no matter the cost. We keep keeping on. We're the dreamers. We push through the darkness with all that we've got. We keep keeping on. But oh mama, we've made it to the other side singing. Oh mama, oh mama. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Together we will rise, step into the light. We were born to come alive. Hold your head up high. This is our time. This is our time. Reaching higher, always up. Keep climbing until we're on top. Leave the shadows below. But oh mama, we've made it to the highest heights singing. Oh mama, oh mama. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Together we will rise, step into the light. We were born to come alive. Hold your head up high. This is our time.
Push the button, let's get active. Show me how you act when it's action. I gotta warn you, this is different than the practice. Cause battle after battle make a savage. It's what I'm made for. Big mistake, bro. But he doing all he can, can't stay close. Watch out. Let me show you how it's done. Take notes, no way I take a loss. Better pray the game broke. Drop in, walk him down, boom, boom, caught him, lock in. Watch me go to work as if I clocked in. It's big, getting out of hand.
Welcome back guys to Liga Republika. Day 1 of our group stages and
Yun.
we're heading into our second match of the day. Pero bago tayo magsimula ng ating mga laro, Kami ang yung casters. Ako ay si Crazy Apat. Kasama ko dito ay si Dumpster Fire. And grabe yung nangyari nung
Grabe
unang
ng
game.
first game.
Yung-
Ayan na po. Of course,
yung
if you
back
guys are
and
still...
forth, no?
Oo nga. If you guys are still staying tuned to us, ladies and gentlemen, please like and share the stream. And of course, grabe naman yung first game natin. But of course, EYYA again coming out with that victory. Kahit na nagpa-back and forth din naman yun. A lot of decisions being made. And again, this is how legends are being forged na dito. Paglikha ng mga alamat ng ating mga players na bagong pumasok, ladies and gentlemen, sa ating Liga Republika. But of course, for our second game, we have Divinity versus EYYA. And of course, EYYA, no? Kakapanalo lang nila. They have that fire. Can they carry it on towards the second game?
Yeah, definitely. Yun ang tanong dito, no? Kung kaya nilang i-bring yung fire na yun, yung momentum into our
Oo
second
nga.
game. And kung ako din sa kanila, kaya talaga. May kita naman natin. Ito, kilala natin sila. Velate, Working Presyo, Gouter, Six God, as well as QWEASD. On the other side naman, for Divinity, going into their first match of the day is Wake My Demons, Yin, Kitty Cute, Musty Dog, and Jez Sedge.
Zedge.
On their side naman.
And of course, it is gonna be very, very problematic, no? Especially for you as EYYA coming in kakapanalo nyo lang. Of course, pinanood kayo ng Divinity, di ba? Mababan yung mga parang grabe ginawa ni Gouter dito, ban nga natin yung Azir. Parang ganun, di ba? It's these kinds of plays. So we'll see whether or not they're gonna be able to adapt. And I'm pretty much sure that there was a scouting report na din from EYYA for towards Divinity. I think at this point, it's fair to assume na mutual din naman yung pagsa-scout ng mga teams natin.
Yeah, definitely. No, the teams will have to scout themselves. I believe din naman kasi yung brackets natin, or rather the groups were settled beforehand, so they were able to check. Pwede mo din kasi makita from the live stream. Meron tayong mga ilang games, di ba, na live stream nung huli for the qualifier stage. Makikita natin doon kung sino nga yung mga naglaban, yung mga ginamit nila. Makikita natin on the bottom part of your screen right now yung match history ng Divinity to get to this point, and they only drop one match actually. So yeah, 3-1 sila right now in terms of the scoreline.
Oo nga. So again, Divinity very, very strong coming into this game, but it depends on how we're gonna be able to look at it. Because EYYA hasn't dropped a single game sa match history nila. They were able to get that win, but also they did struggle, I'd like to say. And I feel like it's warranted to say that they did against WPE.
Yep.
Uy! Ayun na po.
So, ito yung ating segment dito sa Liga Republika. I really love this, and we're highlighting the players now. So, ano ang kwentong League of Legends mo? From Divinity Yin, I started playing League during open beta, and I first wanted to be a pro player after watching Meneski in the PPGL Grand Final, specifically Exosense Ezreal against Singapore Sentinels. I was a manager for Scambalo and LFS, and I am also a coach for UPLB Makiling Esports for their academy tournaments. I wasn't supposed to play for Divinity because I started a career at being a manager and coach, but I still wanted to play as this was my first dream. Wow!
Grabe naman talaga,
Tinutuloy
no?
niya yung una niyang
Grabe.
pangarap na maging pro player.
That's pretty inspiring, no? I'd like to say. And it isn't to say to water down the importance of coaches and managers, no? But for him to have watered his dream down na lang, di na siya nagko-compete, nagmamanager at coach na lang siya. And then now, he really, yung fire kasi, you can't put out the fire in your heart. Pag gusto mo talaga mag-compete, gusto mo talaga maging player, you remember where it started, yung sino pinapanood mo, sino yung idol mo, you want to be there, and magko-compete ka talaga. And of course, Divinity making it through the qualifiers, now in our group stage, a very inspirational story, no, coming from Ian.
Yeah, madaming ganong story sa esports, not just OT League but other games as well. Na, nag-start siya as a very high-tier player, went to a more coaching and managerial role in the team to help guide the players. Kasi you're gonna get to a point when you've grinded so long, mayroon kang maturity level, mayroon kang mga lessons sa pwedeng ituro outside of the game na sa mga players mo, and then put back in that situation again to become a pro player, and then they shine, they thrive. Kasi may new lessons kang matututunan in life na ma-pick up mo. Kasi ang pagiging pro player, pagiging competitive player in any esports title is not only about your mechanics and micro within the game. It's also
it's
your
knowledge.
mindset, yung knowledge, yung maturity,
Experience,
everything. Yeah, experience, everything. The clutch factor, the clutch moments, it all comes together into this being we call a pro player.
Oo nga. Pero I think we have to mention din naman, grabe din naman yung life cycle of esports players. No? Diba nag-e-evolve lang din, magiging coach, magiging manager, doon mo na sila makikita, diba? But of course, yeah, that's definitely not the case for Yin, as he is now back on the Divinity roster, going up against EYYA, who just came up from a very, very satisfying win, I might say.
Yeah, very satisfying win. And as we head na into this drafting phase, I do like there is a target ban right now on Gauther, and that is the Dilla block being taken away right here.
Right. And of course, he does ban as well their own Azir. So kami na magbaban nito. Ayaw ko na gagamitin. And Azir is gonna be banned from EYYA as well. Twisted Fate, again, semi-global ultimate available, as well as Vision, very, very big utility, will be thrown out of the match from Divinity.
Yeah, usually, I feel like Twisted Fate bans, mas madalas mo makikita on the red side kasi it's one of those high-prio mid laners that can take control of a game early. Especially yung una niyang ult, yun yung pinaka-importante. And right now, actually, pag itong last pick dito ng EYYA is also a mid laner, we're gonna have like 6 mid lane bans between these two teams.
Oo nga. So we already got a glimpse of the way EYYA likes to play their game. No? Medyo aggressive talaga sila ng una. Actually, throughout the entire game. And they have a very, very strong, pretty much an insurance lang, no? Galing ng ADC nila. But of course, coming into this game, we'll see whether or not that is gonna be the case as well, and whether or not Divinity has broken down the way that EYYA played their game, especially na sila yung pinaka-recent na team na nanalo dito sa Liga Republika. Of course, the Rumble will be picked up here by Divinity. Very strong first pick, I would say.
A very reliable Rumble pick gives you that magic damage threat on the top side of the map. Kailangan yung equalizer helps with a lot of these team fights, and when you combo this up with a Jarvan, or maybe I'm looking at the Jarvan right now for the side of Divinity, no, that would be a really, really good way for them to start off these fights.
Oo nga. And this is gonna be very, very problematic for EYYA if they're not gonna be able to find a response to the damage as well as the spread na meron itong Rumble, no? Lalo na pag nag-a-anti-heal na ito, magiging problema talaga to if EYYA decide to go for a sustain lineup. But so far, they've pretty much answered the damage question naman sa draft nila. Kinuha nila yung Varus tsaka yung Ryze.
Yeah. Ryze and Varus, really good on the side for EYYA. Tells us na they want to lock in some of their main carries. The CC capabilities of the Varus with the Chains of Corruption from long range will help this team with more, I would say, a more pork-oriented composition if they want to go through with that. But on the side of Divinity, with the Yone answer, this tells us that it's most probably going into the mid lane. So another point, another amount of damage. Pag sinama mo pa yan with the Jhin and the Rumble, that's a lot of damage coming out from Divinity right now.
Oo nga. I can already picture out, no, yung team fight na mga galing dito sa Divinity. Grabe talaga ang lakas. And of course, the Yone pick was a very good response, I feel, to this Ryze and Varus pick. Grabe yung gap close ng Yone. The ramping movement speed coming in from the E, lalo na yung ulti din niya. Instant gap close. So that could be something that DVT can definitely capitalize on, lalo na nung first two picks ng EYYA. Yeah.
Okay, I like the fourth ban here for Divinity. Iniisip ko nga, they did pick the Elise. Elise, one of those early game junglers. At level 3, sobrang lakas ng gamp yan. Also has the Cocoon for those pick-offs alongside with the Varus. Pwede mo siyang i-combo to walk around the map. With the Jace being taken out here by Divinity, they took out another strong laner, the side of EYYA. Kung nakuha ng EYYA tong Jace, that's like stack on top of each other na early game pressure for EYYA. And just imagining a Jace solo lane with the Elise can just go through both mid lane, top side, and bot. Pwede siyang mag-cycle, so makakahanap siya ng gank opportunities in every lane.
Yung unang iniisip ko kasi is that this Elise can definitely be a flex pick. No, maaari din naman siya magso-support. But then, what their strong jungle bans are telling me is most likely they're trying to set it up for an Elise jungle dito. Binaan din naman lang yung Pantheon tsaka yung Nocturne coming into this game, yeah.
Yeah, they also want to take away another global from the side of EYYA kasi Nocturne Rumbles also really good combo. Padilimin mo yung mapa tapos datagan mo ng Equalizer. That's a really good gank opportunity because also if let's not forget Equalizer, ang layo ng range niya. You can be like a screen away and throw it out, and whoa, that's a lot of team fighting capability right now on the side of Divinity with the Wukong. They just need the support right now on their side with the Jhin. This could be a really good engage support as well if they just want to add another layer of engage on their team.
apat na ulti na yun na pang team fight coming in from Divinity. Their team fight is looking very, very strong. I can imagine it, the Cyclones, curtain call, so as the equalizer just being out there. At ayan na po, sige, tagdagan nyo pa. Magpa-blossom pa naman. And that's very, very good utility coming in from DVT as well. They have the stuns and obviously the damage is going to be there from this comp. They also have the bruiser in the form of a Wukong if they decide to go that path, no?
That's perfect. Sobrang ganda ng Nico pick dito for the side of Divinity. Imagine, usually, ang kahinaan ng isang Jhin is not the most mobile of AD carries. Ang pinaka-mobility niya is yung movement speed niya. So, pwede siyang pag nahuli dito ng mga like the Renekton and the Elise, no? But with so much AoE happening in Divinity, AoE CC as well, sobrang hirap i-navigate tong mga fights na to. And with the answer as well from EYYA, with the Karma pick, that neutralizes some of the AoE damage. If you do the Manta Shield on Karma, mababawasan yung damage dito ng Rumble, ng Wukong, ng Nico. So really good answer as well from the side of EYYA.
Yep, that's pretty much a counter support pick to the vast majority of the team fight capabilities na meron na dito yung Divinity, no? But again, I'm just staring at this Divinity lineup, no? I can, like, natatakot na ako sa mga team fight pag ako yung EYYA, like may Pop Blossom at saka may Cyclone din. But of course, versus Karma, yung pagsasustain lang, pagbibigay ng shield, tsaka yung poke na manggagaling sa Rise, Varus, at yung Elise, could definitely be a different two-way game coming in from both of these teams depending on how they decide to play it, at yung sino din naman yung magdadala ng momentum.
I'll give you a different perspective in this composition right now. So Divinity, yes, we're gushing over ang lalakas ng ultimate nila. Right. But the keyword there is ultimate ability. Ultimate.
Oo.
Ang
malaking
haba
cooldown
ng cooldown nun. Yes, exactly. So if Divinity uses them early in the fight, wala na silang mas malaki na yung binaba na power level nila. On the side of EYYA, they have Rise na hindi naman siya reliant on this ulti. Elise has actually no ulti. Karma has ulti that bumps up her basic abilities. And Varus, that's a marksman. Hindi naman niya kailangan. Yung ultimate niya is more of to pick off. And yun yung magiging danger dito for the side of Divinity. If they misplay in these team fights, if they miss their ultimates, use them too early, mas magiging malaki ang impact ng abilities na pwedeng ibato pabalik ng EYYA. And also, let's not forget that they do have the Chains of Corruption, which is really good in these choke points, in this big balled up team fights, kasi kakalat yung Chains of Corruption ng Varus. They also have the Elise, which helps with pickoffs in the start of the fight. And one thing that the comp that Divinity needs to do is run at you. So they can be picked off if they run at you.
Oo nga. And but that doesn't mean to say, diba, na Divinity's pick-off game is necessarily slow either way. Kasi maraming din naman silang mga champions na pretty much can capitalize on a deadly flourish later on. So I think the chase down is pretty good. Tapos yung engage naman na manggagaling sa Divinity can possibly be from any champion. Kahit sino sa kanila pwede magsisimula ng team fight. For EYYA, instead, it might possibly just be the Elise or yung Renekton, or possibly the Rise route as well. I feel like is something that they can open up with. But yeah, still, just in terms of team fight, I think it's pretty much established for us, the Divinity. But as you said, it all goes down to whether these ultimate abilities are gonna land or if they can get the most out of them.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to position, execution, and information. Isa sa pinaka-importanting resource na magagamit nyo sa League of Legends is information. Knowing where everybody is on the map or having a good idea of where they are and what they have. Kung may ba silang flash, may ba silang ultimate, yung mga ganong bagay na yon, that's gonna be very, very important against these two teams. And let's not forget, EYYA is coming off of a win against West Point kanila in our game 1. So, mainit-init ang pasok ng team na to laban sa Divinity.
That's right. And you can definitely argue things like napapagod na yun sila, but if you're a real gamer, momentum is all the more better.
Second game pa lang Hindi sila katulad ko, Dumpster, na sabi ko sa'yo, hindi ko na kaya mag-long game session.
yung mga kaibigan natin, no, na one game pa lang, tas talo, kumain muna ako. Charge ko muna yung PC ko.
Charge mo
pwede pa. Gano'n na.
Laptop.
Ay, laptop. Sige, laptop. Charge ko muna laptop ko. Yun, nawala yung wifi namin. Nawalan kami ng kuryente. Ganun na lang yung reasons, no? Isang talo pa lang. But of course, EYYA coming off from a winning very, very strong. It's up to Divinity now to stop this momentum coming in from EYYA.
Let's not forget then, if EYYA wins this game, they're pretty much sure to go to the group stages. Kasi 2-0 na sila eh. And this is a this is a 3-team round-robin bracket. You just need 2 wins and you advance to our semi-finals. So, ang EYYA din, there's pressure, there's nervousness, pero you also have to think of the positive things, which is they're just one match away from securing your spot to a semi-finals in Liga Republika.
Oo nga, they're so close. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, dito na naman tayo sa Summer's Rift, wherein we will be seeing both of these teams battle it out. And wow, last time I saw this map, Mayhem pretty much took up my heart para apple.
Kanina, no?
Ayoko na tingnan yung mga base. Huwag kayong tumingin sa Nexus.
sa sobrang into the game, hindi ako tumingin sa death timers. Kasi talaga, it was such a hype match between West Point and also EYYA, no? But yeah, andito na tayo. Game 1. Second game of the day between EYYA as well as Divinity. Divinity is on the blue side, EYYA is on the red side, and very standard start. No, actually, this is not a standard start here from the side of EYYA. Look at where they're positioned right now.
Oo, ngayon, Renekton. Nakatingin lang dito. It doesn't seem like they're gonna be able to try and go for an engage though. Wala naman silang hold down. Nagkukuha lang siguro ng vision.
They're gonna go for a late invade. They're going for the late invade.
Parang ganun ata. 4 sila eh. 115 right now. Stun coming in from EYYA. Could be first blood. Yin in trouble here. Fast already utilized, and it goes to the Varus of all people. Very, very good. Nothing. You could not get anything better coming out from that engage from EYYA.
Sinilip pa doon ni Wake My Demons. Ang namatay si Yin on the Nico. Una din kala ko, ito ba yung Pero yeah, it is the first blood here for the side of EYYA. Really good job as well going to the Varus. Yung last tick of damage, both the Varus and the Elise were the ones who threw that. So either way, kanino man mapunta yun, that would have been really, really good for the side of EYYA.
Oh, and now it seems as though we have an Arcane Comet now on our Varus, so definitely we'll try and go for a lot of those poke scaling damages on towards the late game lang noon coming in from EYYA, which I think is pretty okay. They do have consistent damage din naman in the form of this Rise later on, and I think what they want to play is a little bit more of a kiting game against DVT, especially with this Yone and the vast majority of their lineup actually, who is pretty much centered on one big boom sa team fight, diba? If you kite it out, await the team fight, let it happen, I think EYYA have a very good opportunity here.
EYYA, pag nakatch nila dito yung Nico, nakikita mo yung pwesto dito ng Elise, kindil niya yung side of the jungle, yung red side jungle ng Divinity. So nakapwesto siya ngayon dito sa may likod. If she hits the cocoon on Yin, that is a flashless Nico. Let's see. Pero may cleanse dito yung Jin. It's just gonna be dangerous as well.
Big problem, Brian. Sino talaga yung totoong Jin? It is gonna be revealed though. Yin, big damage, but that's gonna be Elise. Has to pop in, mamatay siya dun. Wala, di na nakakapag-invulnerable. He goes down. And that's gonna be the return kill coming in from DVT. 1-1 na tayo ngayon.
Yeah. Good cocoon. Like, nagdikit yung dalawa pa mid lane. There is a bit of a skirmish here between Galthar and Kitty.
He might lose this engage though. Alam naman natin yung in nanggagaling sa Yone. Actually, pretty much gives you an auto win on exchanges, but then again, it is an Renekton. We have that sustain. Wake My Demons. He knows where he is. Pero ayan na po, that is gonna be the Elise coming in as well. Is it gonna be enough? The burst with the kill coming in from Galthar. Kitty actually too close for comfort, pero wala na ata. He gave up, and that's gonna be 2 more kills going to the side of EYYA.
That feels bad. That feels bad right now for the side of Divinity. Sinet up nila yun eh. Pero ang ganda ng sagot doon na EYYA. Nagkulang din sila ng damage. Kung nakita mo doon yung damage na pwedeng iba to ng isang Nocturne compared to the Yone. Really turned that fight around. Right now, 3-1 in terms of kills. Return gank ang gagawin dito ng Elise.
Back, but they are channeling their recalls already. Is there gonna be enough time? Yan na, nagda-drop pa ng ward yung DVT will be able to disengage. And yeah, as I was saying, no, I wanted to talk about how I expected this Rise to go mid and Renekton on top. Diba? That looks more normal in your eyes. But I think this switch lane is pretty much faring them pretty well. Yung Renekton meron ng pickaxe ngayon off of that one kill. I think he's pretty much dominating the lane against this Yone so far. Especially will be now at this point.
Yeah, actually, we haven't had the time to talk about it much kasi daming bang nangyari. Nagkaroon tayo ng mga first blood saka invade eh. And that's really smart in terms of the swapping dito ng EYYA. No? Kasi if you put the Renekton at the top side, that's not a winning position for the Renekton kasi it's a rumble. You can just flame splitter, push yung lane. If you put the Rise against the Yone, that feels like more of a free lane for both of them. So by putting the Renekton in the mid lane, binigyan mo ng harder lane yung Yone. But look at mid lane, there's 3 members here from EYYA.
Ayan na po, that is gonna be the engage as well. They already got Kitty. Will be able to pop the E, pero parang wala na ata to. 3-man collapse from EYYA will bring down that Yone. And now, 1-4 on the scoreboard, all in favor of EYYA. And again, this is what we were talking about. The momentum. They see the opportunities, they take it. At ayun na po, yung makikita nating EYYA for the rest of this game, I hope.
2,000 gold beat for EYYA right now. That's very significant at the 5-minute mark. 5 stacks na rin ng Dark Seal. Itong Elise with a 2-1-2 scoreline, that's gonna be very dangerous. So, aabot na sa point na yung Elise, kahit sinong makasalubong niya, just needs to cash in, no? Just needs to get some of her items. Pero kahit sino makasalubong niya, kaya niyang i-burst down na dito on the side of Divinity.
Definitely. And of course, that is gonna be already 6 God. Pretty much just pushing it down now. Dito na siya sa top. And I think it's a pretty much a okay lane here coming in from him. And again, EYYA looking for this Elise to try and go for an engage once again. Nakita siya na saglit doon. Did Musty catch that is the question.
Yeah. Tanong do kung nakatingin siya kasi nasa taas eh. Uy, nag-flash in. Ayun.
The root will not be there. Nagpapakita na yun. Yung Elise actually has to just back out here. Musty knows. He definitely will play this a little bit more safe. At ayun na. Nagbaback na yung Elise. But I really like the proactive jungling coming in from the Elise here. No? Just looking out for potential plays across the map. Nag-engage na dito sila sa bot side and actually on top side as well as the Elise is still there. He will be popped by the bot side duo from EYYA. And it seems as though vitality-wise, they're doing a better job. No? They were able to poke out, which is as expected kasi doon naman yung piercing arrow ng Varus.
It is a very hard lane to play against. Varus at Karma, dalawang strong poke champions in the bot side as we see a bit of a skirmish here in the mid lane. Nalipat lang yung top lane skirmish sa mid in this case. But yeah, bot side definitely has so much pressure right now for the side of EYYA. They are always playing forward in the lane. Ang scary thing lang dito for the side of EYYA is there are moments na nalalagyan sila ng ward sa likod dahil nga masyado silang nakaharap. They might be vulnerable to some TP plays coming in from Divinity.
That's true. Just to point out, the CS leads already on the side of EYYA. Mid and bot actually have very, very noticeable CS gaps right now. Gauther, I appreciate the versatility coming in from him as well on this Renekton to try and decide to tell his team to play it mid. And it did fare well for him very much as Kitty is pretty much having problems 0-2 right now and already behind on CS. And of course, here come the Void Grubs. And it seems as though both of these teams trying to gain yung top priority, no?
Yeah, they do want top side priority, especially dito sa May River near the Void Grubs. Pinagawa niya si Yin!
That is gonna be a stun. Also, Revelate will try and capitalize it. It's gonna be a possible route na mamatay na kaagad. Killing spree on this Elise. And with 1 man down, it seems as though EYYA will try and secure this Void Grubs for themselves.
Kala ni Yin, ligtas na siya eh. Naglagay siya ng clone doon sa bush para makita ko nasaan yung Elise. Pero hindi niya na-expect na magka-flash ko topside though. I think there's another gank coming in here.
It just might be Musty a little bit too deep, narurot na kaagad, and Elise very free to just walk up here, and not a good place to be for Musty here. A lot of damage as well, already bursted down, free kill by the Rise, and again, EYYA just taking these opportunities, and I feel like Divinity aren't really respecting the missing people around the map from EYYA. No? Kung wala silang nakikita, they're pretty much just pushing up on towards the top lane, because that could easily have been avoided if he just didn't walk up.
right now. Dragon being taken right here. There is a ward inside the pit. So alam na alam to ng EYYA. They might be looking to contest Revelate. Actually running in here right now.
That's right. And in terms of Gauther and Kitty, I feel like Gauther definitely up in the lead here. He would very much rather have a Renekton coming into this.
But
that is going to be the stun on towards two of them as well. The root. But actually, that is going to be the Dragon going to DVT. They do lose the Wukong and the Nico as well. So that's 2 for the price of the Dragon.
Yeah, that's 2 kills going to the side here of EYYA. Only the Renekton burning that flash. Pero tingnan din naman natin yung kills, diba? 2 na punta sa EYYA. 10 stacks na yung Dark Seal dito ng Elise natin. That's big. Hindi pa nga siya nakakabuo na kanyang first item. It only has the Sork Shoes, and you can see the damage already being thrown out by this Elise. This is a dangerous spot for Divinity if they are not able to control the vision enough to at least have an idea kung saan tong Elise na to. Kasi so far, the Elise has been playing really, really well. Tama yung mga spots niya and the vision of, or the calls to go for these invades, to go for these ganks. So mga yung pwesto niya, gano'ng kalalim siya in the blue side jungle here of Divinity. Okay, akala ko makakatcha si Musty. They're just leaving the Void Grubs as well as a point of contention right now for EYYA.
And that's the beautiful thing about an Elise, no? You're not very worried about using your flash kasi di naman kailangan para tumakas eh. You have the invulnerability as well. You can literally disappear from the world for a while if you want. But Musty is here. Kitten, andyan na naman. They didn't know that Revelate was here. That's gonna be a chain CC with the root as well. Equalizer drop, pero wala. Mahulog dito si Rusty. Kitty once again. So, focusing now on towards this Elise with Yin as well. Pop's gold ability. Is there gonna be enough damage? The Chains of Corruption misses barely. And Kitty still trying to do work. Mawala yung Elise. Finally, a good kill coming in from DVT, but it seems as though they lose even more.
Yeah. They do get the shutdown gold on the Elise, but they lose 3. For a price of 1. That is not a good trade for Divinity, and that is EYYA showing the strength of their composition as well as the strength of the gold lead that they have right now.
Oo nga, nanggagaling na ito dun. And that is a little bit of a problem now coming in from Divinity. If you're looking at the first 3 people on towards the scoreboard, that's O2, and O3. The Rumble, the Wukong, and the Yo, definitely not in good positions here. And EYYA capitalizing on most of them. And again, as I was mentioning, because this Elise has literally used that flash cocoon 2 times successfully, leading to kills, it just made so much of a play coming in from EYYA and definitely gave them more confidence moving into this game.
Sayang lang, namatay yung Elise. Nabawasan tuloy yung Dark Seal niya. Sa is na lang tuloy. Kanina, 10 na yan eh. Pero pagbalik naman niya, picked up the Lich Bane. That's an added amount of burst damage coming in from this Elise.
Oo nga, may item na yung Elise, ladies and gentlemen. And the Rod of Ages already up on the rise. And this is just going to scale even more so as the game goes on. Right now, I have yet to see a full item form from the side of DVT. Musty parang madadive dito. They are gonna be minions. He's just trying to go for the all-in on Gauther, but it's still not gonna be enough. May lead din yun sa mid. 5 assists and 118 CS on this big boy Renekton, and they take the platings for the top side here.
Yeah, they're taking the platings. Also really good standard gap right there from EYYA. Talagang minaximize sila yung CC chain with the Ruthless Predator start from Gauther, and then yung dulong-dulo ng cocoon pa hindi na makapag-flash out dito si Musty. Really good job from them kasi if they weren't able to synchronize that as well as they did, baka nakapag-ult pa. Pero, okay, wait, demons. Might be getting caught out.
That's gonna be the Realm Warp. Could there be a root coming in from 6 God? Actually, spots the clone. Cyclone has to be popped. And maganda yun naiwan yung clone doon. Tas yung dumaan, nananak pa rin sa Cyclone. Will allow him to escape.
Technically nga, may chance mamaya makita tayo ng ilang Wukong. 4 na Wukong. Kasi dalawa galing sa Wukong, tas clone, tas Nico, magiging
tas yung Nico pa.
Wukong army.
Yun. And that is gonna be a little bit of pushing coming in from DVT as well. 7k na yung lamang dito ng EYYA. Not looking good, I'd like to say. And I can't really imagine a scenario where DVT are going to try and capitalize on team fights yet. Especially with yun ang kailangan nila. And Musty again, a little bit up ahead. Oh! Na-predict niya yung flash! Grabe yung cocoon galing ni Shuol yun. Grabe.
Bakit mo naman ginawa yun? Shuol Zai
Style points yun.
nagki-clip farming ka dito sa Liga Republika? Bakit?
Pwede ba yun?
That's dirty. That's so dirty. But that's also such a great cocoon coming in from the Elise.
Oh, grabe naman talaga galing ng Elise. And of course, that is gonna be engaged now onto Kitty. Gouter here definitely have nothing to fear. The Pop Blossom goes onto the air. Onto nobody, the root as well, onto Kitty, not looking good. Jez trying to do what he can, but this Varus on a rampage, ladies and gentlemen. EYYA on the warpath, and DVT are lying at their feet.
DVT, they need to figure something out. Kailangan nila ma-stabilize ng game na to, and right now, EYYA's just taking them for a loop.
Look at this all around. That's gonna be the flash from Varus. That is gonna be the curtain call. Has to get out of range. Natamaan pa siya nung last bullet with the slow will go down. And that was pretty much a shutdown goal going to the side of DVT. But now the counter engage coming from EYYA. They gain the Wukong as well. And
Alright, on the
that
side.
is gonna be the middle tower. A little bit of a chill. And 6 God. DVT surrounded by EYYA right now. Jez, that is gonna be soon to fall. The Jin goes down as well. Gouter. Would they get him? Yes, they do. That's pretty good coming from us. The shutdown gold now for DVT. Equalizer as well. Will claim the life of the Karma. Yan, natitira dito. But ayan, hulog na kagad. It's up to Kitty now, who just got rooted and is taking too much damage for his own good. The burst coming in from the Elise. What a skirmish.
Not only a skirmish, it was a long team fight for both of these teams. There's a chance na papasok. Okay, kalma. EYYA, wag na kayo mag-overextend. A bunch of kills, not really for fighting for anything. They just were fighting for fighting's sake. But looking on the bright side here for Divinity, nakakuha sila ng maraming shutdown. I think like 866 shutdown for the Wukong. There was like a 700 shutdown for Musty and getting another kill on the Karma. So they're at least getting back some gold. Kaya nakita natin kahit lumamang doon in terms of the number of kills ang EYYA, the gold lead didn't really move. It's like 8,000 because of the shutdown na nakuha doon ng Divinity. But just one thing that I want to mention as well. Elise was scary with 10 Dark Seal stacks. Now she has 25 Magi Soul Stealer stacks. So,
Oh my God. Magiging problema nga ito yun. And of course, it is gonna be a little bit unfortunate from DVT. When I realized that they got a shutdown goal, tingnan ko kaagad ang net worth. But later on na lang, as Musty once again, in the hands of EYYA, they lose this rumble. For the 6th time this game, you have to stop doing this. And again, Gouter, as well as this Elise wreaking havoc on the top side. The Pop Blossom lands on nothing.
Sumakay siya!
Herald once again. The knock-up coming in, but Gouter, he's barely taking damage. Ayan na, nagdi-drift lang.
Nagdi-drifting lang siya. Pero the fight's still not finished. Gusto pa rin to. Hindi, actually. Okay. Kumalma na. Kala ko gusto pa rin. They were just buying time kasi look at the map. Mid lane, dalawang miyembro ng EYYA na doon. Bot side, nagpo-push lang din yung Rise. So EYYA, with such a huge lead, is even turning Divinity in for a loop. At grabe din yung ginawa doon ng Elise. Halap-halapan, may 3 miyembro ng Divinity. Ni-right-click niya yung Rip Herald at sumakay, naka-knock-up pa ng 3.
Oo nga, grabe naman talaga yung EYYA, and it seems as
No,
though...
Musty.
Musty, no! EYYA na naman. Godlike na! Tong Elise, the Magi stacks, just pretty much up there. Cherry on top of the Magi stacks lang, no? 25 na kasi. And of course, even with those recalls right in their face, Kitty will not try and look to do something with it. As EYYA are in an amazing spot right now.
Ito yung mga spot na sabihin mo, it's EYYA's game to lose. And right now, with EYYA in the driver's seat, Divinity, I don't know, man. I'm not seeing how they can win this. Look, tama tong Wukong na to. Hindi siya tatagal kasi this is a 25 stack Shadow Flame, Lich Bane. Pinatakas, nag-flash eh. O walang flash yun, wala na yun. Patay na yun, nakuha na Elise yun.
Yan, munti ka ng masolo-bolo dito. Si Wake My Demons, and your demon is Elise, brother. As right now, 12-6 has 550 shutdown gold. There you go. That is going to be a little bit of a disengage coming from DVT once again. I'm waiting on what they are waiting on, I feel like. I just want to see what DVT are waiting for to get as Musty shredded down. Kagad ganun lang. Nawawala na kagad yung Rumble. 8 death in 18 minutes.
Okay, nakakuha ng isa naman ang Divinity in the mid lane, and then it was a 1-for-1 exchange cross map, but still, nakita mo dun kung kano kumpilis na ubos yung health bar ng Rumble. And also, to answer your question, kung ano inaantay dito ng Divinity, Divinity is waiting for EYYA to make a huge mistake. And what's the huge mistake? Ano ata mag-right click lang sila sa mid, tapos hindi sila gagalaw.
Oh, yan na. Yung Rem Warp with the Pop Blossom, di pa rin tumama. It doesn't even go out. They get the shutdown though on the rise, but at this point, is it really gonna do anything? I mean, at least, right, they get something in exchange. But again, that's 3 people just respawning now for Divinity. At yun na nga yung problema, di ba? Yung EYYA, grabe na yung lamang nila. And coming into this game, it seems as though they have no intention to relieve their foot from the necks of DVT.
Yeah, hirap ng spot na to for Divinity. At this point in time, you really just have to hope and pray na biglang may mag-disconnect from
big
EYYA.
mistake. Oh, yeah. Yung sinabi mo kanina
kasi it's not even just one big mistake at this point in time for EYYA. It's a lot of mistakes na kailangan nilang gawin. Kasi if EYYA just plays this correctly, they can get these picks, but they just need to get the Atakan and they can just end the game or wait for Divinity to come out of their base. Look at the map as well. Hindi pa nga dinadominate ng EYYA yung vision game eh. They just have some wards in the blue side jungle here of Divinity. Hindi nila pinepepper, hindi pa nila sinisira lahat. They're just, playing the game normally at this point for EYYA. They don't really need to do much to force things para sila ay talagang manalo. They just need to wait for Atakan, maybe Baron, and then push. And yeah, that's Divinity.
Si Atakan, no? Tingnan mo si Atakan. Gomen, Amanay.
Gomen, Amanay.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, looking at DVT right now, it seems as though they all have just one item under their belts, apart from Jez, which does have the almost ghost blade as well as the rapid fire cannon here. And again, unfortunate coming from DVT. I don't know when the power spikes are coming, but again, yung sinabi mo kasi kanina, na kailangan makahanap sila ng mistake galing ng EYYA. Yung mistake na iniisip ko na can pretty much save them is if EYYA just walk into their fountain right now.
Mag-realm war papunta sa fountain. Mga ganun.
Yan mistake.
Farm pa ni Six God. Alam niyang papunta yung gank. Nag-TP para ubusin yung base ng Divinity.
Ayan na po. And that is 5 members from EYYA now in the base looking to secure their second win of the game. Wake my demons across the map. Di na makauuwi. Yin is here. Pop Blossom, it's available, but to what avail? Are they gonna try and hop it? Finally, it lands onto somebody. Gets to Kitty trying to hold it down, but there's nothing they can do. Gauter's still nearly at full HP, and EYYA just playing their game here as they secure their second game in this group stage. Parang Apo.
16,000 gold lead at the end. That is the second win of EYYA, and I believe that's them punching their ticket into the semifinals of Liga Republika. Congratulations to EYYA. What a dominant game 2 from them, and it all started with the ganks coming in from this Elise. Grabe ka na. Yung 25 Bejai stacks for like half the game.
I can't get my mind off yung flash predict. Like, I think that was a little bit of salt to the wound for Musty, who was already not doing pretty well that game. And I think that just kind of just nailed the coffin for me para sa Divinity doon. And again, you just have to commend EYYA, the way they were able to establish plays around the map. Divinity, to me, looking at the game, no, yung early game, di naman sila gumagawa ng mga maling plays. I don't think they were doing anything stupid. I just think EYYA were capitalizing so well on the little openings na meron yung Divinity.
EYYA really utilized their comp. Yun yung masasabi ko. They were talking about ang ganda ng team fight ng Divinity during the draft. Well, paano ka magti-team fight kung hindi kaya abot doon? Yun yung ginawa na EYYA. Malakas ang basic abilities namin. So at level 1, they already turned up the tempo. They went for that late invade into the jungle and got their first blood early, started the Valos in a really good spot, and then nung inubos nila yung red side jungle, wala na eh. Talagang hinaras yung bot side ng Divinity, at doon nakakakuha ng gold si yung Elise to really steamroll the game. And yeah, that's what can we say more? What can we analyze? That was a
Yeah, well, I mean,
dominating performance. Eh.
Yeah, we talked about the ultimates coming in from Divinity, but again, even those ultimates weren't able to do as much coming into that game. We saw some good equalizers, but no follow-up. Again, Kitty not even being able to grab a kill of his own that game, and Yin with 2 pop blossoms, or possibly 3 if I'm not mistaken, just completely whiffing onto no enemy champions. I feel like there was a lot of unfortunate and wasted potential coming in from DVT, but when you go up against EYYA, I guess that's what you're bound to expect. Just the aggression, knowing what your weaknesses are, and capitalizing on those.
Tama yung Eliso. 17-2 and
God.
9. That's 17 kills. That's
parang
26.
norms. See that in norms, not in yung pro play, but grabe
Nakikita ko
talaga.
siya sa SD kapag ano nga to. Yung
Oo
sobrang dominant o yung minsan may kasama, may kaibigan ka na, pasama ka, mga ganun.
Oh,
Yun yung mga performance
quick play
na yan.
yun, boy. Nasa quick play yun.
Nasa swift play, no? Yung mga ganun, nasa norms lang. Pero grabe. EYYA just really showing us why they're one of the top dogs here, why they deserve their semifinal spot. And
That's it.
really, really good performance for them. Unfortunately for Divinity, balik muna sa practice, balik sa scrims, balik sa drawing board. They can still, practice for the next Liga Republika, hopefully, if we have, for next year, for the next couple of League of Legends tournaments that we do have, especially in the grassroots scene. But madami yan. I believe one of the creators, like si Zoe Gandara, does these League of Legends PC tournaments. So yung mga ganun, practice muna kayo doon habang naghihintay ng kasunod na Liga Republika.
That's it. EYYA will definitely be waiting for you as they now advance sa Liga Republika, ladies and gentlemen. And again, looking at Elise nearly doubling the damage of their own ADC, Grabe talaga yung performance. And of course, especially in that first game where we were able to see the Nocturne, and as we mentioned, yung utility niya lang yung ginamit niya doon. Not a lot of playmaking, definitely wasn't taking the spotlight out from anyone, and that completely changed in the second game. Nakikita natin yung jungle potential ng EYYA.
Yeah. Sino kaya MVP natin? Taban natin dito. Akala ko kinasunod. Pero sino kaya? Ang hula mo, sino yung MVP natin sa EYYA?
Sige. Mag-guess ka nga. Sino ba?
Sino pa ba? Di ba Elise?
Sino ba? Wonder ko, parang ang daming maaaring choices, di ba?
Alright, I think that's
anyway.
it for our match 2. We still have one more match, which is Divinity and West Point Academy. Tignan natin kung makakabawi itong mga teams na at least sa group stages makakuha sila ng isang panalo. We've been your casters, Ivy Crazy Apple and Dumpster Fire. Don't go away. We still have one more match to go. We'll be right back.
Take it back. You stumble and you fall, but God, I know you try. You can't look back. The longer that I wait, I'll fall deep.
We are now heading into the third match of the day between West Point Esports Academy and Divinity.
na.
But before we get to that, welcome back guys here in Liga Republika, day 1 of our group stages. We're still your casters. I'm Crazy Apple. Alongside me is Dumpster Fire. And yeah, ang bilis ng oras. Parating na tayo sa last match natin ng Group A for the day.
That's right. And a good couple of games again, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, as you guys may have already gathered, no, yung EYYA sure win na. 2 games na yung panalo nila in the first 2 games of today. Of course, a very, very back and forth win against West Point Academy. And of course, in that previous game, it was a very, very strong show of dominance against Divinity. No? So grabe, well played talaga kay EYYA, GG's. And of course, for our third game, who do we have, Apple?
Yeah, it's... Actually, may kita natin dito. Yeah, it's gonna be Divinity versus West Point Esports Academy. Actually, iba yung yung players. Ito yung players from EYYA kanina. Sila Belate Crescio. But these are the players here for West Point Esports: Zivard, Azeven, Agona, Win, and Miss. Nakita naman natin sila kanina. Match 1, which was a really, really close game. Like, just maybe one decision here or there could have turned things around for them. But unfortunately, EYYA ang nakabalik. At ika nga, ikaw check dyan sa comment section, EYYA laging panalo.
Oo nga. Tayo na po dito, yung iniisip ko talaga sa West Point is si Mist. Kasi parang multo niya talaga yung laro na yun against EYYA. Ang grabe talaga yung saya niya, very, very dominant. So of course, I think this is the game where he is allowed to cathartic. Dapat palalabasin niya na yung nararamdaman niya sa laro, of course.
Paano ka to? Ipapakita niya lahat na ninatago nila. Wala na. This is the unfortunately, na-confirm din naman natin with our broadcast na tama nga na the team that gets the 2-0 will advance in the semifinals. So itong dalawang team na ito naglalaban ngayon, I would say for pride. Pasabi naman nila, hindi kami na 0-2 sa group namin. May panalo naman kami. Tsaka close nga yung game namin kanina sabi ng West Point Ito, konti na lang kami na dapat yung mag-move forward. Pero bago natin pag-usapan pa yung mga bagay na yon, match history ng West Point Academy Esports at natalo lang sila ng 1 beses sa kanilang qualifier stages.
2 beses ata. Parang talo din sila dito kay Sunflower, di ba? Tama ba?
Ay, alam ko 1 beses lang sila
siguro
natalo If I remember correctly, natalo sila doon kay Hotdog ni Polo. Ni Polo. Doon sila natalo.
Yung malupit na pick, di ba?
Yung malupit na pick.
May ass pala yun. May askin yun. Ashkin yun legacy. Legacy skin yun kay Ashboy. Oo, di pa pwede immortalize, legacy lang. Immortalize.
Diba? Hindi ka na naabutan yun Eme. Hindi ka na naabutan yung skin na yan Ganun lang.
So ayan na po, oo. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is still definitely something that we are very, very excited on seeing. Again, Divinity and West Point Esports Academy still remain to me, and of course, definitely should remain to you guys as well, as still one of the best teams to make it here at Liga Republika. Diba? They battled it out naman din sa qualifiers natin. They deserve this spot here, and I can't be more excited to see them jump into the Rift.
Again, these are the 12 best teams we have right now in Liga Republika. The 12 best teams right now we have in the PH scene for League of Legends, and talagang iba yung bangis ng format ng isang single elim best of one kasi may lasunan, may biglaan. It's such a fast-paced environment that it feels like you really need to bring your A game every game, every step of the way, which is similar din dito sa ating group stages na one loss can probably mean that you're not gonna move forward into the next part, which is the semifinals. Kailangan yung 1-1 tiebreaker na tatlo kayo, which is another scary thought. No?
Right. But definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Pero, ito na nga, papasok na tayo sa huling draft natin ngayong araw na to between Divinity and West Point Esports Academy. On the blue side is gonna be Divinity, on the red side is West Point Academy. At ayun na po, both of the first band champions, mga champions na na-pick ng EYYA, no? May nakita tayong Azir tsaka Varus din sa kanila. Wala lang. Food for thought, diba? Yun lang unang pumasok sa isip ko. But of course, again, let's focus now on Divinity and West Point Esports Academy. The Nocturne and the Akali will be in the next wave of bands.
Yeah, Varus, Akali, Nocturne as well as the Azir. At least pag natanggal yung Nocturne, what tells me for the side of West Point Academy is ayaw nila yung malaking dive threat on the side lane. Kasi nakita din man natin, kanina nung game 1 we saw Nocturne. Not exactly used for that purpose, but that's still one of those threatening things against the Nocturne na matanggalan kayo ng yun na ma-easy gang kayo dahil nga doon sa semi-global ability niya. And also to turn off the lights. May confusion yun at some point.
Uy. That's gonna be the first pick coming from Divinity. Strong top laner, of course, on this Ornn. Binan din ng mga teams natin yung Viego tsaka yung Twisted Fate. Alright, so that's gonna be a lot of global presence. Taken out Yorick, shown here, and picked up by West Point Esports Academy.
Instant counter pick from the side of West Point Academy. Nakita nila na ni-reveal na yung top lane on the Divinity, which is the Ornn.
Maganda.
So nilabasan nila ng Yorick. Usually, he don't bring out a Yorick early in the draft. Kasi one, hindi naman talaga siya high prio na champion in a blind pick. Second, there are some champions that can also counter a Yorick if you pick him blind like a Mordekaiser kasi naiiwan yung Maiden sa labas kapag nasama ni Yorick. So nawawala ka ng extra power.
Ba?
Alam ko naiiwan so napaghihiwalay mo.
Interaction nun.
Kukunin mo lang siya. Ikaw lang, solo lang kita, sabi ni Molde.
Uy. Akin ka lang pag ganun.
And then,
wala si Lady.
Pag tumingin ka, pag lumingon ka, akin ka na. Ginanon Ginagano
ni Mord. At ayan na. That is gonna be the second pick up now. Very, very solid, safe pick, I'd say. Again, 33% pick rate na dito yung Braum. The win rate, 100% here actually. If our graphic serves us right, grabe talaga ang ganda ng Braum pick. And I think it's a pretty safe early pick din naman. Maraming utility pa rin yung Braum. Has the team fight, has the hold down, yung passive ability niya for the proc on towards that stun, and of course his team fight presence din. He's pretty much a very strong all-around support champion.
And it's gonna block the Ornn ult. Diba? Kapag tama yung halap niya doon sa papunta pa lang yung RAM na nahalangan na niya.
Oo nga.
So kahit both ways kaya niya halangan Diba? Papunta at pabalik.
That's one of the funniest interactions talaga para sa akin nung nakikita ko sa League of Legends. Lalo na yung wind wall. Kasi nawawala lang kaagad yung baka. Hangin lang yun
May ability ka pa? Nope. It's God. Goodbye. Ganun. It feels bad It feels bad, but it's also the interaction. Yeah. That's why draft is so important. in League of Legends. So we see them finishing up their first round of picks. Talia and Lulu on the side of Divinity, one on the side of West Point. It's gonna be the Aurora in the mid lane, one of the top tier picks as well in the mid lane. Can start out fights with her ultimate. Also has really good burst when she gets her items. Also a really high prio pick.
Ganun yung combo dun eh. Twofold Hex, tas the Weirding, tas twofold Hex lang din kaagad. It's Q, EQ. Tas yung ulti din niya, double utility yun eh. Pwede mo gamitin pang takas, yung Between World. Pretty much serves as a teleport din, right? You pop it out away from you, tas pumasok ka lang sa isang side. Tas doon lalabas ka sa kabilang side nun. And I think it's very important for WPA, especially if they're trying to measure it out lang muna to try and pick up a strong mid laner for their game. Nakikita ko kasi, because you pick up a Braum, right? Syempre, iniisip mo, may gusto silang protektahin. And we have yet to see that coming out from WPA, but we might just with the severe pickup. Interesting.
Yeah. I think right now the Braum is serving more of protecting the team, peeling for anyone in the team right now. No, for the side of Braum, I also want to point out the two 80 carry bans on the side of West Point. Really good to spot out the Zeri and the Jinx being taken out kasi nagpick ng Lulu, which is one of the traditional enchanter supports. Really ramps up, really helps these late game scaling 80 carries for Divinity. Iniisip ko ngayon kung ano yung pwede pa nilang i-pick on their side right now. They do have a decent knock-up. They have the Pantheon to at least have that early game to maybe pair up with the Talia on the side lane pressure so they can free up another side lane or at least help kung ano man yung magiging dual lane pick nila dito. Talaga?
Wow.
Okay. It's protect the Poppy Comp from Divinity.
Oo nga. And of course, yung Talia naman dito, nanggagaling sa Divinity, it's pretty much to gain prio. No? Alam naman natin yung wave clear niya, pretty much good, and he can roam, especially from mid. The Aurora will match the wave clear din naman, which is important coming from WPA. So on the middle lane, yung matchup naman nila, I feel like is pretty much even. It goes down lang kung sinong team ba yung kakagawa ng plays around the map.
Yeah. I love the Wukong pick right here from West Point. Tinitingnan ko yung composition nila and in my head, what they're missing is engage. Alright, now they do have the Sivir na pwede kayong tumakbo, but that's only one layer of the engage. You need something that knocks
to
people
lock them
up,
in.
CCs, stun, yeah, exactly. Lock them in.
Napa-jinx tayo dun na.
Wukong is really good because you can get through these flanks with your decoy. Pwede kang mag-jump over your over walls in these weird positions para hindi mahinto ng Talia. Like Talia's job here on Divinity is to make space for this Kog'Maw and to deal some burst damage as well. Pag nilatag mo yung minefield niya that stops people from dashing, that would stop the Braum, that would stop the Wukong, that would stop the Aurora to an extent. So it really now depends on where this Wukong is gonna come from. Kung kaya niya mag-flank, kaya niya makahanap ng posisyon para matalo nitong Kog'Maw na to, West Point has the tools to win these team fights.
That's right. And here we have it, Apple. Andito na naman tayo sa aura farming part of our matchup. The full draft available, ladies and gentlemen, right here in the ano masasabihin natin? Hindi naman to Hall of Legend, di ba? Wala naman si Faker dyan.
Hindi. Ito yung
Hall of
Hall of Liga Republika.
Ayan na, pwede.
Kailangan natin.
Pasado na yun para sa F na yun sa akin. Pasado na nga.
Yeah, these are, our farm na nagtititigan sila. Touch upon ko lang din a bit on the side ng Divinity na they do have really good engage with the Ornn. They also have Pantheon to start of these fights. It's really gonna depend on how well they can defend this Kog'Maw. Like, if they can defend this Kog'Maw for like 40 seconds to 1 minute na magkahalap sila, he can dish out the damage. Ngayon ang tanong, bakit ganun katagal? Bakit ganun katagal niya kailangan mag-hold? There's a Braum. Braum with shield up is gonna mitigate so much of the damage coming out of this Kog'Maw as well. So it's really it front to back traditionally it's gonna take a while for the Kog'Maw to get through this. But if they are able to get to that point, yun yung light at the end of the tunnel ng Divinity.
Oo nga. And of course that is gonna be the Pantheon pretty much picked up by them to try and match the strength din ng Wukong, di ba? Of course, with that semi-global utility na sinabi mo kanina, very important as well for their team. And I think that has to be kept in mind as long as the game goes on. Di kayo pwedeng mabigla doon. You already know it's there. You know it's gonna happen. But of course, yeah.
Ngayon ka lang na-realize yung kasama nung Red Minion dito sa Hall of Liga Republika natin, yung kausap niya doon, ay yung katabi niya, yun ba yung shopkeeper sa Bilgewater?
Parang oo ata. Lang yung details dito, no? Kasi na nag-uusap lang, nagchichill lang sila eh.
Parang last week wala pa siya eh. Last week wala pa siya dahil ako pinag-uusapan ko tong shopkeeper ng alam eh, saka yung Blue Range Minion. Sabi niya, boss, baka naman pwede akong mabigyan ng Infinity Edge. Oh. Baka naman. Para masakit na rin ako matulungan ko tong team ko.
Fun fact lang, no? Diba sabi na natin kanina, yung Braum, maaari niyang i-block yung Call of the Forge God ni Ornn.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact is, si Ornn yung gumawa ng shield ni Braum.
Sa lore.
Sa lore. Siya yung gumagawa sa shield ni Braum. It's an unbreakable door crafted by the demigod himself.
So ano to, parang kinounter ni Ornn yung sarili niya. He'd never guess na makakahalap niya at makaka-counter niya ang sarili niya.
Oo nga. Ayun na po, ladies and gentlemen. Just hour of farming na muna. Kung magkang-galaw-galaw na dyan, tingnan mo lang si Braum, oh. Oh, ganun lang, oh. Nagfe-flex lang. Dapat ganun ka din. Huwag ka nang patingin-tingin dyan. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be Divinity going up against West Point Esports Academy. 2 of around the 12 teams we have right now in the group stage fought their way out of the qualifiers. They deserve this place to be here, and they will definitely show us what they are capable of as we soon get the loading in. And again, a very strong match that we have yet to see coming in. We're surprised by the Kog'Maw pick. Very interesting place, but it all goes down to how these two teams are going to be playing. Yep, let's take one good look at this draft once more as we slowly approach Summoner's Ring.
Yeah, ito na ang huling laban natin ngayong araw na ito dito sa Liga Republika. On the blue side is gonna be Lamasti, Wake My Demons, Kitty, Jez, and Yin. On the red side, Wind, Devard, Agrona, Miss, and Azeved. And yeah, we're just waiting then if they're gonna do any funny business. Is there gonna be like any early game setups looking at the champions? Hindi rin ito yung mga traditionally may ginagawang kababalaghan sa early game dahil on the side for nasa isip ko EYYA. No, for Divinity. On their side, kailangan nila mag-play safe eh. They really need this Kog'Maw to scale. So as much as possible, they need to play safe in the early parts of this game.
Oo nga. And that definitely can be a problem here for WPA. I feel like Jez, with a lethal tempo no less, all he has to do is pretty much just stack up on damage and yan na. May malakas na team fight na dito yung Divinity. But he is up against Mist himself. Wala. Idol ko yan. Grabe talaga. Idol ko talaga yung
kasi
si Mist.
Going back diba sa game 1 kanina, grabe yung positioning talaga niya.
Oo. And even more so now on a severe where positioning is key. You don't have any flashy escapes. Di ka katulad ng Saya na may ultimate R escape button.
Alam ng Divinity na nandito ang West Point. Now they're just trying to figure out if they do want to challenge this red buff. Hindi alam ng West Point na nandito banda si Wake by Demons. We might see a big fight here.
We might. Kitty as well, trying to go for the rotation now. WPA, are they gonna try and get it here? Agrona and Kitty pretty much just fighting it out here. Good trades, same trades from them, but the red buff up for grabs. Might available on both ends. Sino yung makakuha noon? It will go to the hands of Devoured. And Wake My Demons has to march on towards his Raptors na lang.
Yeah, Wake My Demons. There's a ward as well, so spotted dito sa Wake My Demons. Hindi niya alam. Level 2 tong Wukong na to. There is an advantage here. Pero mukhang magpapalitan na siya. Nakishare sa manok doon si Devard para hindi mag-hit kagad ng level 2 itong Pantheon na to. This Pantheon is very much behind right now. 1-6 in the creep score.
Isa lang yung nakuha yung na-smite niya na malaking Raptor. And this is a very good start from Devoured as well. On a Wukong no less. This could be very problematic for DVT. They have to make a play eventually, no, to try and counter this lead that WPA has just gotten for their jungler.
Yeah, isa ding pinag-usapan natin during the draft. Ang importante dito sa Divinity with the Pantheon pick is when you get to the early part of the game, pwede mong gamitin yung semi-global mo to affect the map to go for these ganks. Pero ngayon, wala. You're behind as a Pantheon. That's gonna delay your timer. It's gonna delay for Divinity to find any of those plays coming from their Pantheon. So at this start with the early game, they just really need to buckle down, play a bit safe, and wait for a possible mistake coming in here from West Point.
I'm not very happy about that if I were Divinity, no. Kasi sa West Point Academy, naka-counterpick na yung Ornir sa top eh. Alam niyo na mahihirapan yun dun eh. And that is gonna be something that they're gonna already have a disadvantage about. So it all goes down to this bot lane and the mid if they're gonna be able to try and make plays happen around the map. Lalo na pag naka-catch up na tong Pantheon na to, no, after losing his bottom lane red buff.
Yeah, mahirap eh. Kita mo naman ngayon. In the mid lane, bullied na si Kitty here by Agona. Nag-recall na, kumuha na ng tier si Kitty and will be going use that summoner already habang kaka-recall lang to ni Agrona. Agrona will have a slightly stronger recall because he did get those more minions on his side. For the bot lane, talagang play safe lang to eh. That's still a Sivir and a Braum. Mabilis lang mapuplok ng dual lane na to yung stun ng Braum because Sivir has the auto reset on her W. So Braum goes in with the Q, tapos auto reset ng Sivir. Just needs one more auto to get a stun on the bot side. So that's a lot of kill threat for the side of West Point. We do see that the waves are bouncing and really good here to show that there was a ward na nag-spot out dito sa Pantheon ng Divinity. So West Point knows that, okay, spotted yung Pantheon. It's not because we are gonna make a play in bot side, but now we have an idea ng timer ng ikot nito na Wake Night Demon. So they can make a play a minute to 3 minutes from now because of that information.
That's right. And we have missed here once again, sabi ko lang, the Ricochet available for him as well. Mukhang may trade dito sa middle lane. Auto attacks to prop the electrocute. And again, pretty much just a poke battle na nangyari dito sa mid, no? As right now, Divinity are looking to pretty much swap up these lanes. Kasi nakikita naman natin, the CS lead already a little bit in favor of this Yorick. Obviously, not something that we didn't expect. The first blood! Ayun na po sa middle lane. Solo Bolo will be able to bring down Kitty, Agrona. Well played from him. That's gonna be the first blood on towards the side of WPA pa rin.
Yeah. First blood going to the side of WPA. As you mentioned, Agrona. Nag-overstay ata si Kitty. Pero silang low kasi. And I think the overstay was because there is a dragon that has spawned. They wanted to have at least some control over the mid lane prior, no? While this dragon is up. Pero for the side of Divinity kasi they didn't have the luxury of doing that. Kasi inikot na nila yung dual lane nila. Nasa top side na yung dual lane nila. And right now, there are 3 members here of Divinity, but still, that's a Yorick and a Braum. That's 2 tanky members na kayang mag-hold ng lane. But let's see if there's gonna be a dive here from Divinity.
They're trying to make a play on towards this top side, but just looking at it, Yorick and Braum, pretty tanky, I'd say. I don't think there's a dive potentially coming in from DVT here, and I'm pretty sure Wake My Demons realizes that. Just to back out na lang as of now. But again, this Pantheon definitely has a mission, which is to just catch up, to try and make a play happen where he's no longer as behind as he is. Because right now, this Wukong is pretty much leading on CS. And across the board, WPA is actually, look at the severe CS diff from the Kog'Maw. And that's just because of the clear coming in from the Ricochet as well.
Yeah, clear from the Ricochet as well as the pressure nga. The having a Braum. No? Pero now, binigyan ng solo lane itong Sivir against the Ornn. Ornn still can't really fight, but at the same time, at least hindi na natin-threaten yung kanyang tower. On the top side kasi kanina natin-threaten yung tower nung Ornn against the Yorick. But this is gonna give the Sivir better scaling opportunities dahil nga it's easier for the Sivir right now to get CS and also nasosolo niya yung XP. So that's gonna be a quicker 6. Nakita mo na dito, level 6 na si Miss compared to level 5 kan Jess. But Jess getting caught out.
Oh, might be a little bit of a problem here. Yan, pumasok ka sa circle ko. Win one, just trying to burst him down along with Azaved. And Yin, a little bit too close for comfort. Should have sought out already. The stun coming in as well. 2 kills for free. Coming in from West Point Academy. 0-3 na ngayon sa scoreboard natin, Apo.
Yeah, nakita natin that fight started with an exhaust coming in from the Braum on Azaved. Tapos nakuha nga nila yung stun combo. It's so easy for a Braum when he's with a melee champion na makuha yung stun na yun. Na-lockdown nila si Jez, and what's more crucial right there is na-trap siya dun sa cage ng Yorick.
Props kay Win dun.
Na-trap siya dun sa loob, so hindi na siya, wala na talagang way si Jez dun to get out. Also to add, hindi pa level 6 yung dual lane na to. So they didn't have the wild growth to buy more time and maybe could deal more damage. Pero wala din pa kasing items eh. Even the Rage Blade is not even completed here.
And ayan na po, that is gonna be the ultimate coming in from Agrona as well. Does he have enough to burst down Kitty? Must he there with the Call of the Forge God being able to stop it? The knockup is gonna be mistimed. Doesn't actually catch Agrona, but he's at 1 HP right now. The Flash will secure the kill for Musty, and that's the first kill for Divinity, finally on the board.
Yeah, finally on the board for Divinity right there. At least nakakuha sila ng kill in the mid lane, and that started with a skirmish between Kitty and Agrona, and a really good response from Divinity. Void Gloves was secured by West Point, so this is giving them a lot more strength right now in the pushing department, and they do have a Yorick, which is 2-0, and alam naman natin, pag ang Yorick na iwanan sa side lane, well, magpaalam ka na sa tole mo.
May Shin na yun, boy. All goods na in terms of damage tong Yorick na to. Plus, he has Grasp. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty stacked up now. Naku, Jez! Nagbo-ward. That's gonna be Devour coming in with the Cyclone as well. Knockups onto 2. Missed in Azivid. Collapse onto DVT. Dalawang nahulog for the side of DVT. That was their bot lane duo who moved up and now have lost their lives and potentially this tower.
Yeah, tower's gonna fall here. It's gonna be in favor of West Point Academy. They're gonna get plates as well. Makita dito sa Wake My Demons. I'm not quite sure why you're walking forward right now. That is not a good spot for you. Giving up another kill right now for West Point, and West Point Academy Esports about to get another turn at the top side, and grabe. One thing lang din na I want to mention na nangyari doon sa kay Jez. It's one of those lessons na kailangan mo din matutunan as an ADC, especially when you're playing in the higher levels. Hindi ikaw yung maglalagay ng ward sa Tribush. And the specific scenario that can happen is that yun nangyari yun. Like, you only do that if you have complete information of where the rotations is right now for the enemy team. Kasi you are the most important member of your team. You need to get ahead. And with the 0-2 scoreline for this Kog'Maw for Jez, it's a tough ask.
Yeah, and that's gonna be, look at this, the comparison already a level ahead. Of course, with the Untai Wild Arrows already formed here by Mist, something that I already expected. And not only that, but he does get those free boots from the Inspiration Tree. And that's gonna be very, very problematic for DVT. WPA Mist pretty much doing what we expected him to do. I saw this coming. I knew Mist was gonna play. Was here to play. And again, Jez definitely has to catch up on that, especially that he's currently 0-2 now as well, along with his bot lane duo, Yin.
Yeah, she Miss just, doing
Miss
things.
Severe things.
Doing severe things and just clearing waves, getting CS. Sivir is not one of those marksmen na masabi mong sobrang lakas sa late game. Kasi you're not like a Xayah, you're not like a Jinx, you're not like a Zeri that takes over games. But what you bring to the table is the utility. With your ultimate, and also the amount of AoE damage with your ricochet. Right? So with Miss being this ahead na at this part of the game, it just amplifies the strength that Sivir has right now and the control of them over the map that West Point does have, and that's why nakita mo ngayon, they're taking their second break. I don't think there's any point here for Divinity to try to steal. Kitang-kita din sila sa mapa, may mga ward doon. Divinity just gonna give this up.
In terms of the jungles, the junglers natin, I feel like now Devoured is just leagues ahead of CS against this Pantheon. Pantheon not even having any boots to try and help mobilize himself around the map right now. I don't think that's something that Divinity necessarily want, but hopefully they're gonna be able to capitalize on a few mistakes. I think they have their eyes set on Win, but he's currently level 10. That's 3 levels ahead from two other people here. They do get the stun onto him, but again, look at the damage just from one basic attack coming there. That's gonna be empowered as well. Win dropping a little bit low. Wake my demons. This could be
Naku,
the
si
kill
Jizz.
that Divinity needs, but here comes a Grona on the middle side as well. Si Win buhay pa, but not for long. As Wake My Demons brings him down. Azaved trying to catch up onto Yin. That is gonna be ultimate. Will not be able to hit. Emote ka sa akin, I guess, coming in from Yin.
Yeah. And in the end, it's a 1-for-1 in, well, not in favor of anyone, but still, a 1-for-1 exchange is something that Divinity should be happy for at the moment. Well, ang hira, actually, hindi na 1-for-1, 2-for-1 na. Nakakuha si Agona ng isa pa doon, and you see another fight here.
Yeah, here comes Musty, and this might be good actually. They might be able to bring down a Grona, and they do. That's gonna be one more stun. Actually, just a spear coming from Wake My Demons. Meanwhile, Kitty has to utilize the flash to get out of the clutches of Mist and Devoured. Devoured here still has the Cyclone available. Can definitely look to use it. Actually, does pop it, but to what avail? Doesn't really land onto anybody, and he just goes down. And these are kind of mistakes that WPA are making. I don't feel like these are mistakes that they should be making. Definitely no plays offered there, but Divinity are catching up, and I guess they, I'm seeing a little bit more light now from Divinity. They're not completely out of the game just yet, despite the lead that WPA has gathered.
Hi. Okay, ang nasa isip ko lang doon, Dumpster, is what's happening for West Point. Tama kayo, those are mistakes. Those are mistakes, but those are mistakes that they don't really need to do. But that is
Hindi
also
naman,
yun
Kasi
yung
tower
buffer
dun
nila
sa
ngayon.
mid lane.
Yeah, yun yung buffer din nila ngayon dahil there's so much in the lead right now. Like looking at the gold, they're 5k ahead, 14 minutes in the game. Looking at the CS as well, across the board, there's like 30 CS for the first 3 champions on the side of West Point. That's 10 plus 10 for Miss right now on the Silver against the Kog'Maw. So they're really, really ahead na they can afford some of these mistakes. So, binubuli na nga din ni Devard eh. Like goes in there, just bursts down the blue buff. Like those are the things na kayang gaya ng West Point. They don't really need to force anything, and it's on Divinity to really scale at this part in the game. The Rage Blade right now completed for the Kog'Maw. At least step 1, meron na siya.
Oo, meron na. At least. And of course, in terms of CS, lamang din naman yung West Point Esports Academy. Divinity, of course, right now, I feel like I have to give props to this, to Wake My Demons now on this Pantheon. He knew what he had to do. He didn't have the lead, pero ayun, he was able to make plays around the map, and he's already up 2 kills, right? And this is something that was very, very important to allow himself to keep him in the game. Kasi pag di yun nangyayari, wala na talaga yung Pantheon na yun, honestly. Kahit nag-ult pa yun, kahit nagre-respo pa yun, kahit saan, he's just not well equipped enough. But at this point of the game, I see him doing pretty well.
Well, okay, na-jump din dito si Kitty.
Oy, ayan na po. And that's gonna be pick off onto Kitty. That's gonna be a pop-up ultimate as well coming from Yin to try and keep him alive. But he's just coming in and out knowing that there might not be escape from the clutches of West Point Esports Academy. And they bring him down. Another kill under their belts.
Another kill going here for the side of West Point. They also secured the Rift Herald. So, pwede na tong ilapag. Usually nakikita mo yung Rift Herald nilalapag pa sa outer tier turrets, pero wala nang tier 1 turret dito ang Divinity eh. So we might expect us to see them pushing a lane later on. With the Dragon coming up in a few, there's a chance na they throw it in the top side just to gather members para makuha nila safely itong Dragon. But at the same time din kasi, like, there's 2 ways to go about it as West Point. No? You can play it safe and do kung ano yung una ko sinabi, or play it more aggressively, and that is get prio in mid lane, get the wave to shove, throw the Herald there, and then bait Divinity towards the Dragon Pit. Kasi you have a lead. You can run down Divinity at this point in time as West Point. So what does Divinity need to do? They need to prioritize vision, information, try to get as much pressure across the map, try to get shoving lanes before the Dragon fight happens to give yourself at least some buffer to maybe pick off West Point if they misposition themselves.
Oo nga. Tayo na po, DVT gathering dito sa mid lane natin. Looking up towards the Ocean Drake actually. Their hopes are pretty up. WPA is up 7k gold. Ayan na, they try and get a knock-up onto it as it did, but that's the shield. Grabe talaga. Ayan, ikaw yung gumawa niyan.
Shield down.
Yeah, shield down. Ultimate will be popped. That's gonna be the Glacial Fissure to try and stop them out. Azeven still survives here. At ngayon, pumasok na yung West Point Esports Academy, the Cyclone, onto the rest of DVT. Jez, nawawala na kagad. They lose 3. DVT.
And what did I say? How can West Point play this? They baited in Divinity. Ginamit nila si Azeven and then went in for the kill. Takes 3 from the other side. Nakakuha pa ng isa si Agona with a recall, catching Wake by Dreams on the recall. Wukong's taking the dragon. Miss is taking mid lane. Yorick win 1 on the top side. About to get another tower. No, actually plays it a bit more safe. Just goes for the jungle. West Point Academy in complete control of this game.
Oh nga, that's gonna be a bit of a problem as they have also claimed the first Drake. Actually, the third Drake, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this game.
Yes,
Kaya na
third
po,
Drake na.
that's the dominance coming from West Point Academy. And this Yorick still pretty much just doing Yorick things lang sa ngayon. Kitty trying to burst down Devoured. Actually gets him to half HP. That's pretty good for them. However, walang member dito sa Divinity na nasa malapit lang. And actually, West Point Esports Arena are the ones gathering in. That's gonna be the ultimate pop by Wake My Demons. He's in the middle of the rest of WPA right now. He is surviving though. Good vitality onto him. Devoured. Not in the best vitality to try and go for these team fights. But Kitty caught in the middle with Mist on his back. They gain him. And Wake My Demons a little bit far away from his team. They have to secure passage for this Pantheon as WPA are closing out on him in the circle. Mist brings him down as well.
Yeah, 2 for 0. Second tier turret right now being sieged right here by West Point Academy. Complete dominance over this game. They are looking to siege the inhibitor turrets as well. Only Yin and Jez right now to defend. Looking at the map, yung Ornn natin ay kinakaunter ni Agona sa top side. I'm not sure how Jez and Yin are gonna be able to defend it, but okay. Yeah. Actually, that's something you can do. Walang hard CC sa Aurora. So nag-TP na lang siya palayo for safety.
And that's gonna be pretty much good as of the moment. WPA in a very, very steady and safe spot sa ngayon. And it seems as though it is gonna be how the play just circles around coming into this game for them as Divinity have to find an answer to this kind of aggression, right? But at this point of the game, what can you really do? You have to rely on your Kog'Maw, who right now isn't doing very well. Down 20 CS against the enemy ADC and is currently 1-4. So, yun yung shining hope sana na meron yung Divinity. But right now, not looking good.
Looking at the item comparison as well. 2 completed items right now for the Yorick with the Shojin and Triforce habang Sunfire Cape as well as the Bumble Best pa lang itong ating Ornn. Decked out with mostly AD items yung ating Ornn kasi looking as well across the board for West Point, it's only the Aurora who deals the magic damage. Saka nakikita naman natin madalas yung Ornn, ang nakakatapat niya ay yung Yorick. So talaga nag-build siya for that side lane to try to minimize the pressure coming out from that Yorick. Medyo nakahinga tayo na portion dito. Not really anything to fight for the map right now. May attack at
yung
spawn.
bottom side.
Actually, bottom river, there might be a gank. There might be a fight happening right there in the mid lane.
Wait, my demons and will fall down. I'm just looking at his health bar. He's already gone. Meanwhile, there is going to be the rest of the fight. Kitten already being popped. It has to be enough to bring down Jez between worlds to try and close the gap in Agora as well. Burst down Yin. Must be hot here. Actually, this is the beast na to guys. Tama na. Beast naman. Guys naman. Beast na yan. Beast na yan.
Yan na, bahay ko na to Bakit mo hinahabol sa bahay ko?
Yan na, grabe naman talaga yung WPA. But of course, that's just the kind of aggression that we expected from them. And we definitely saw in the first game din. Musty right now trying to stop this aggression. But look at that tower. Just getting bursted down so quickly. Wala na. Inhibitor exposed for Divinity.
I mean, syempre talagang mabilis matutumba yung tower. Tignan mo yung stats ni Miss. 202 CS, 606, has a 700 gold bounty right now on this Sivir. That's bebang I eat sa Kayuntal about to go for a completed third item. This Sivir is just really in a really strong position right now.
Oo nga, at ayan na nga yung sinabi ko kay Mist na minumulto siya ng first game nila So this is him showing what he can do. Pinalabas niya na naman yung misplace na nakikita natin, and on a severe no less. No, not a very very flashy champion. Definitely not somebody you see making crazy plays across the map, pero ayun na po. Oh.
Okay. I think we're running to a bit of technical difficulties right now in this game, no. A bit of a pause. We did see both Miss and Devard leaving the game, so we will be going on a short pause. Hopefully short pause lang naman as the two players try to reconnect. But let's just go back to ano ba yung state of the game. And the state of the game is West Point Esports. This is similar to the game kanina ng EYYA. And this is their game to lose at this point in time. They are so much in the lead. Grabe yung lamang ng Silver and ng Yorick. While for Divinity, hirap. 2 items pa lang yung Kog'Maw. They really need to buy more time for this Kog'Maw to scale.
Oo nga. Pero yung Divinity naman, I have to give mad props to them because they aren't putting their weapons down just yet. Alam nila na pag nagsascale na, then the game is a little bit on even grounds because at some point, magka-cap din naman yung improvements and the spikes that West Point Esports Academy have. So as long as Divinity are able to hold, which I hope that they do, kasi sa ngayon wala na, exposed na yung middle lane inhibitor nila, and it didn't seem like they could do much. But if they are able to capitalize on mistakes, tulad ng mga mistakes kanina na nakikita natin na binigay ng WPE, maybe, just maybe, Divinity are gonna be able to try and clinch this out.
We'll see. This match, medyo battle of pride to ang masasabi ko na. Kasi we already know that EYYA will advance to the semifinals, clinching their win nga kanina with a 2-0, winning against both the WPA as well as Divinity. So sure na sila ay ang maging representative ng Group A in the semifinals. Here dito, para mo masabi na hindi kami yung 0-2 sa group namin. Kami isa kami sa mga contender team talaga dito sa Liga Republika, and we'll see here kung makakabawi ang Divinity. It's such a tough spot for them. Again, there's not a lot of ways for them din kasi to really buy time for this Kog'Maw with the lead. Kasi you think about it, you need wave clear, and the enemy team should be lacking in terms of trying to force the fights on you. Pero right now kasi hindi. They have the Sivir that can clear the waves. They have a Wukong. They have an Aurora. These champions can, kahit tatlo lang sila, they go in, they can force a fight.
Right. And I have to point out yung sinabi mo kanina, this is just a battle for pride. I feel like, kahit din naman, yung sa Liga Republika kasi, or even in just professional league play, you will take any opportunity you can get to play at the highest level. At yun yung opportunity na binibigay ng Liga Republika sa mga players na to, no? So kahit na alam naman nila, sure na yung EYYA at ngayon naglalaro lang sila para sa Pride,
win?
Importante pa rin yun. And that's gonna be a jump in as well. Win, nag-iisa dito. This could be a good pick off from them. If they try and get it, knock up as well from the Call of the Forge God. Again, this Orange just tossing the Yorick up in the air. Counter mo ako, ha? Dito ka muna.
Yeah, the Yorick able to do his job. Win, able to push the tower and become a distraction para makuha itong Ocean Drake, para masecure ang Ocean Soul dito sa West Point Esports Academy.
Soul na para sa WPA. Lalong-lalo nang mahihirapan tong Divinity dito. They were able to get a kill onto the Yorick, and again, that's pretty good, but here come WPA. They see Devour though, knocks up the clone, but that's gonna be the Cyclone. No longer available for this fight. The Glacial Fisher still available coming from Azabeth. When is he gonna use it? There is an opportune moment here in the chokehold, and they do. Meanwhile, Musty getting bursted down by the rest of WPA right now. There is a lot of damage coming in from them. From when, munti ka nagbabak lang dito. Wake My Demons, focusing now on Agrona, who pops the Between Worlds. Gets a lot of burst damage, pero nahuhulog din siya. In the end, Yin coming in as well as Mist. Clean up the rest of DVT. We're trying to run away. WPA on the chase right now, and Mist looking to coming in as well. That is gonna be the rest of DVT, I think. Wake My Demons will be able to flash across the border and ult away instead of recalling.
He ults away, but look at the death timers. Look at where West Point Esports is in the map right now. They're looking at the Nexus.
This might be it. Wake My Demons. Ayan na. Sumasayaw na lang.
Bumavibe
Emotes
na lang
kami
sa
din.
May Demons.
Ayan, nagbabibe na lang sila. Ni Azevet. Uy, sakit yun para. Ano yan?
Ayun,
Akala
ayan
ko
na.
nagbabibe lang tayo. And that is...
Yeah, that's gonna be the Nexus here. That's gonna be the Nexus. West Point Esports Academy says that we are not the team with no wins here in this group. We will secure at least one win in Liga Republika
Ayan
group
na.
stages. West Point Esports Academy takes match 3 of the day.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was the final game of Bracket A, and an amazing set of games definitely that we were able to see, especially early on, with EYYA just showing their dominant performance throughout the group, and of course both Divinity as well as WPA being able to show what they are capable of. And this is League of Legends, ladies and gentlemen. Ito yung Liga Republika, where we give the opportunity to a lot of these players who are looking to make a name for themselves, and definitely their names will be remembered.
Ito din na yung tininggal natin for Road to LCP Wildcard Playoffs. Unfortunately for both Divinity and West Point Esports Academy, hindi na natin sila makikita in the next parts of our next stage of our tournament. But again, kudos to EYYA. Earlier today, we did see the 2-0 win from them. And again, going back sa match 1, sobrang close nun. Like, it could have been anyone. It could have been EYYA or West Point Esports Academy to take the win there, and it could have been very well West Point Esports Academy. Nakita natin na manalo dito sa game 2 and advance, but unfortunately, minsan talaga ganun eh. It's how the cookie crumbles. But going back, these are their post-match stats, and makikita naman natin dito how dominating the performance was by West Point Esports Academy in this game.
Oo nga, at ayan na po, ladies and gentlemen, just looking at the game stats, you can see that Divinity did put up a fight if you just cover the KDA lang muna, no? Because look at their gold. We're trying to slowly catch up, but unfortunately, WPA just being able to capitalize on a lot of mistakes that Divinity were able to do. Early on, Divinity did catch WPA making some mistakes. We were able to see that, gave me a glimpse of hope, in fact. However, just being WPA, and we know how they play, utilizing every opportunity, using all the lead that they have to try and get just the vast majority of the objectives. And even then, even towards the late game, kung nakikita mo actually, if you saw that Yorick bait at top where he died for free, just so they can take the Ocean Soul, kung nakikita mo yun, it was actually Win who had the least amount of shutdown gold in comparison to the rest of the team.
Kasi iba yung tabaho niya di ba? Ang tabaho ni Win is to push towers. He doesn't get the kills. He does have a CS lead and towers as well. But unlike Ubmist or Agon or Devard, no, na napakaganda ng KDA nila. That's why hindi yun ganun kataas. Yung kanila, yung hindi naging kasing taas yung bounty gold nung Yorick. But yeah, I mean, overall, this was also a really, nakita mo din yung game plan at the start pa lang ng West Point Esports. When they picked up the Yorick, alam mo nang, okay, this is most probably gonna be a 4-1 split where the Yorick split pushes and the team takes the objectives. And exactly, yun naman ang ginawa doon ng West Point. No? This also serves as a good learning opportunity for a lot of teams, especially a lot of players watching, na you have to do those exchanges, right? Sometimes you have to give up someone on the side lane para makapush kayo, take the bigger objective. And talagang worth yung ginawa din ng West Point kasi even though Win 1 died for free in the top side, those were 5 members of Divinity that went up there. Tas Ocean Soul naman na na-secure ng West Point Academy.
Tas nahihirapan pa rin sila nun. And honestly, they definitely could have tried to just go for the soul. Kahit magti-team fight pa sila yun, parang mananalo pa rin yung WPA dun. But still, they went for the smarter play. They got the tower onto the top side as well, props to Win 1. But then again, ayun na po. And again, pretty much just moving on towards the draft, I felt like, I don't know if there was an alternate future na I could have seen where Dikogmo was another ADC. Honestly.
Tinanggal na kasi yung Jinx saka yung Zeri. Like, both Jinx and Zeri put in this comp would have been better kasi Jinx, when she gets excited, can reposition, can able to do more things. Zeri has a bit of self-heal, can build a bit more tanky. Also dishes out a lot of damage. Later in the game, pwede din siya mag-kite out dahan-dahan against the Wukong. But since you're in a Wukong, which has no mobility abilities, literally zero, At yung only self-feel mo is yung carpet na slow. Wala ka na iba yun.
Oo nga. And just, the synergy that you can definitely see coming in from West Point Esports. Musty actually doing a pretty good job on that Ornn. Kalaban niya pa yung counter niya, si Yorick. Pero even then, he was doing very, very good coming into his lane. Definitely a different Musty that we saw in comparison to that second game against EYYA. But still, when all said and done, West Point Esports Academy come out the victor in this final game, ladies and gentlemen. And they will be leaving Liga Republika with 1-0 in the groups, 1-1 in the group stage.
Yeah. At nga, kita natin dito yung results of the day. We had match 1 between West Point Academy and EYYA. It was EYYA taking the win, and then in the
Amazing
second match.
Game.
Yeah, amazing game. Kung meron mga kayong babalikan dito in terms of like big fights, big clashes, mga what if moments, definitely tune into that one. Second one was the EYYA versus Divinity matchup where EYYA clinched their spot into the semifinals, and lastly, yung nakita lang natin, West Point Academy takes a win against Divinity, and at least for West Point, they could say that we have a win. Yeah, we have a win. We both teams put up a top fight here at Liga Republika.
And ayan na po, yung standout champion, of course, is gonna be the Severe. Very, very solid pick from them. Just the gap close again with that ultimate ability, the movement speed that it offers, the wave clear ng ricochet mo, being able to bully down the bottom side. And you were able to see actually, yung Brom, medyo, nagro-roam na lang yung Brom. Kasi, maaring mag-clear lang yung Severe sa bottom side. No threat against the Ornn whatsoever. And that was pretty good coming in from them.
Uy, paldo pala tayo ngayong araw na to. 307,500 gold earn. Gabi naman.
Ayan na. Munti ka nang pa-price sa champion.
Pwede bang paperahin yan tapos dagdag natin sa price?
Send ko lang Gcash ko.
Send Gcash. Pwede perahin yung gold, gawin nating peso. Tapos pingi naman dyan from Liga Republika. And don't forget guys, bukas mayroon pa tayong matches for Group B naman. It's gonna be between these teams, AES, IMYC, I Miss You.
Ayan na, yung
Ion
team
Global.
Yung team ng bayan. I Miss You. Nakaka-relate lahat ng mga Pinoy dyan.
Sayang, hindi. Group B pala si I Miss You. Hindi ko sila sana maabutan ko kayo sa semis.
Ay, yun. Oo nga. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are staying tuned, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting Liga Republika and supporting the teams that are competing. And of course, that was it, if I'm not mistaken, Apple, for our Group A.
Yeah, just final messages, final thoughts for me. Thank you again so much to the viewers, to the community for watching and being part of Liga Republika.
Right.
Thank you for all the players na sumali sa tournament, starting from qualifiers hanggang ngayon. Kudos to both West Point Esports Academy as well as Divinity for putting up a really, really good fight here in Liga Republika. Hoping to see you guys again in the next League of Legends tournaments out there, especially if we for next year's version of Liga Republika. Thank you as well to my co-caster, Dumpster Fire.
Thank you rin, Apple.
To the broadcast team, production, and yeah, I think that is it. Don't forget to tune in again tomorrow. We're gonna be having Group B, Day 2 of Liga Republika group stages. We've been your casters. I'm Crazy Apple. Here with me is Dumpster Fire. Thank you again and have a wonderful rest of your day.